झूमता गगन है छाया आसमां देखो झूमता गगन
Oh yeah, that was fun stuff. Oh, absolutely. 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 We are burning our sacred cedar because I'm just getting to that right now, actually. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can see me. We had so many problems last week. I worked as hard as I could this week to make sure that we didn't have the same issues. So hopefully we should be all good. If we're not, let me know right off the bat. That would be helpful. Let me find where you guys are at in the chat here. I'm going to do a little bit more cedar work here. How has everybody's Thanksgiving week, Thanksgiving weekend, Black Friday, and all that hot mess? How has it gone for everybody? Has it been stress-free? Lou S is in the house. All right, let me see what I can do with these, this crazy lighting here. Always dealing with it. All right, I got to put this stuff in a safe location. So what is going on? Can you guys hear me? I see Lou S is saying walking. It is 59 and bundled up. Oh, that sounds lovely. 60 degrees. You're out walking, huh? Good for you. Nice. Nice, nice. I am good. I am good. Anthony Byers is in the house. Yes, thank you, Lou. Can hear and see you. What is up? Thank you so much. Loud and clear. Awesome. Cassie's in the house. Bam, bam, bam. Need to get my beaming equipment working. Yeah. How the hell is everybody? How was everyone's Thanksgiving? Does anybody do the Black Friday crap? I know somebody was asking that today. One of my YouTube neighbors, and I was like, no. Even when I was someone who was like going into the stores and shopping, never on Black Friday. I was always working. Yeah. So when I was done working, I was in a mall, so I got the hell out as fast as possible. Like, I'm gone. Yeah, and Black Friday was always hell. I don't even know how it is anymore as far as the hours. The last year that I had to work, the last year that I was working retail during the holiday season, we were doing that thing where you were open on Thanksgiving Day. I think we opened at 4 p.m. on Thanksgiving Day, and we were open until that just like went right into Black Friday. We didn't close. You open at 4 p.m. And it was so bizarre because it was just really bizarre. It really wasn't worth it. And it was bizarre. The people that were walking around, majority of them had been drinking all night and whatever. And anyway, so it just gave people who don't usually have a place to go at like 3 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, it was really weird. Not many people spending money. And it was pretty hellish. The hours were unbelievably long and hellish. Yeah. And then we didn't close until like, I don't know when we closed. I can't even remember. All I know, it was like being open forever. And I don't miss any of that crap at all. So what is going on? How was everybody's? My Thanksgiving was very peaceful, very quiet, very nice. I think 4 of us. Yeah, 4. Well, actually, Zoe, I think, counts as a human being because, well, she was in the kitchen helping herself to the bird. She was. She was. She is a poultry fiend. 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 Taffy. Cassie. Cassie was asking me how Zoe was doing, like as far as eating, because that's what we've been talking about, right? The cat issues or the domestic pet issues of not, people having or pets having a difficult time with their stomachs and stuff, right? And yeah, but yeah, Zoe seems to have regained her appetite back for sure. Before we go any further into the live, I don't know how many people are here. Oh, it says 4. But I want to I know SRF hasn't been here in a long time. She's just really going through some really challenging stuff, and way more challenging than I realized. She had never been so clear to me, I guess, in our communications as she has been in the last week of some of the stuff she's going through. And it's like big shit all the time, like all the time. So yeah, it's she's just going through a lot. So keep her in your thoughts and prayers, because she would be here if she could be. Other than in her own immediate family, then there's like grandchildren. She's just got a lot going on, a lot of life-changing shit all the time, it seems like. So keep her in your thoughts and prayers. And yeah, there was somebody else. I know Daphne is going to be, there's somebody else who isn't really here in the live as a regular, but every now and then she pops in. And her name is Wandering Star. You guys might remember her. She's only popped in the live a few times. She's also another person. Heavy, heavy, heavy duty, life-changing shit occurring in her life all the time. It's crazy. So yeah, if you could just keep those folks in your thoughts and prayers, that they both feel like they just never get a break. So, Lou, you're in the West Coast walking, and that's wonderful. It's 60 degrees. Lou, I think that's hilarious. Bundled up. Bundled up. I mean, yeah, if you're not used to that weather, you got to be bundled up. So, yeah, it's good. Temps here are actually mild. Way warmer than we had a week ago. I think a week ago at this time I had a damn hat on my head. And then shortly after that, once Sunday came or Monday, it just got like into the 50s, and it's just been very mild. Very mild. 50s. Yeah. Very warm Thanksgiving, unseasonably warm, which is, I noticed today, like up and down the street, everybody put up all their Christmas shit because it's like so nice out, and they just have everything up. And I was like, wow, everybody's going full throttle this year. And I'm like, oh, it's the warm weather. I know Cassie had made a mention. She's trying to right, Cassie, you were talking about the same thing. And I don't know, Cassie, I would think you're in the same, about the same temperature that we're getting. Anthony, how are you doing? How is it over there in Australia? Are you in Australia? I'm trying to remember. And I know I did not get you and Lou that live up. Like the week of Thanksgiving became very hectic, very fast. So yeah, this week hopefully I'll be able to get those I want to be able to take the live and break it up. I don't want to just throw the whole 3-hour live up on the channel. Nobody wants to watch a 3-hour live unless they're in it. You know what I'm saying? So I want to be able to take that video and splice it up for you guys. And then it'd be like, okay, here's your thing. Here's your thing. That way it's just a little bit more digestible, I guess is the word. So yeah, give me another week and hopefully I'll have them ready for you. Cassie, yeah, it is so good to have you here, sister. You said your little one gained weight. Now, that's the cat, right? The cat that you said hadn't been eating? Because I know that was you have the cat and the dog, the senior dog, but that wasn't the issue. Your issue was with your kitty cat, right? And that's the one that you said gained a pound since the last vet visit, which is good, right? Like, heck yeah. All good stuff. Lou S says, nope. I opt out of Black Friday, right? What the hell's a turkey cat? That was a crazy open on Turkey Day. Really, what was the crazy open? Like, I might have not even known what we're talking about. What are we talking about here? Um, what happened, Lou? A crazy open? Was it something I said or something you experienced? Yeah, I miss her too. We have we kind of communicate. She was trying to her life is so crazy, she can't even schedule time, like, for a private reading. It's that crazy. Like, we had one scheduled, and then she had to, like shit just happened. Like, her life is kind of like I don't know if you guys know, and I know she's mentioned it on the live and in the videos down below under the chat, so I'll just mention it here. She has an adult child. Both her children are adults, but the one was in an accident some years back, and so SRF is her caregiver. And I don't, I thought I understood uh, the I guess I didn't understand the seriousness. She's, because she would describe her as being extremely independent because she's still quite young. She's not a kid though. Like, she's an adult. She's actually I don't even have her. I have her chart, but I don't have her age memorized. I want to say she's how old is she? Maybe in her late 20s, early 30s. I could be wrong, but she's an adult. So SRF just, yeah, she's her caregiver. She's her caregiver. And I don't know like all the details and I don't ever press, but from what she's shared with me, it's just way more complicated than I realized because I didn't know that daughter that she's the caregiver for has a grandchild. Right. And the grandchild is, how old did she say he was? 15? Oh, so then she's probably even older. Yeah, she's probably older than 30. Well, anyway, that just puts it into context, right? And so there's just a whole lot of stuff. Yeah. And anyway, I don't want to give anything else out because I don't want to, it's her life, it's her privacy, and I don't want to do anything. But she's just going through some really, really difficult shit. So, yeah, if you could just keep SRF in your prayers, that'd be great. She did say that she had a nice Thanksgiving, though, which was nice. I did get to hear that from her, which is great. Had a last minute change. Oh, right. Yes. Okay. Yes. I heard about that. Okay. Now I know what you're talking about. Had a last minute change day before and so glad was able to. Yeah. So how did that go? Like, how did that work? Wow. Yeah, that's right. Yes, yes, yes. That's right. You're not the only one. I heard multiple different people explaining they had plans either to go over to so and so's house or to be hosting, and somebody got ill. And so, yeah, it was like they had all this food, they were all ready to be the hosts, and it just didn't happen. And so, people had to make last minute changes, or some people just, you know, didn't have their plan didn't work out. So whether they have to delay the day and do it another time, you know, I don't know, but a lot of people that I know have had to scramble, and things just didn't go as planned for folks. So, you know, Neptune always has its hand at shit. So yes, keep her. And are you serious? Lou S said, because it's 60 degrees, she has a hood and gloves and a scarf on. Wow. Well, weren't you mentioning that your Taurus, or no, your second house? I'm trying to remember, but your second house, you said that you noticed your throat, your neck area, Taurus, right? Second house is very sensitive. And so you normally have to wear a scarf, right? Weren't you saying that? And you have to use like, because I think Anthony brought that up. He uses teas and honey because he notices for me, I didn't get to share this last time because I didn't connect it. I was thinking, no, I don't have that. But you know what I do have when it comes to the second house? I have Gemini, right, in my second house cusp line. So what happens for me is it's not so much like right here feeling cold. It's this area, like the upper chest area. I have to have this covered at all times, unless it's in the middle of the summer and it's hot. But as soon as I feel the slight chill, my wrists, if I can cover those up, and right here, the upper chest area, keeping that covered makes a huge difference for me, huge difference. So, isn't that funny? But it's Gemini. And Gemini, we say Gemini wrists, right? And arms, hands, but also the lung area. Gemini, the lung area. Well, what's covering the lungs? You know what I'm saying? So I just thought, how fascinating is that? I didn't even think of it when you guys were talking about right here. But yeah, crazy, right? Today was 50s and I did a few things outside. Oh, good. Lou says, "Oh, yeah, lights up, so we were checking them out now." Yeah, right. I know there's a lot like one of our neighbors. It almost looks like they're planning on being in the does your neighborhood have, like, the competition thing going on where you live? You know how they have, like, a I don't know, whether it's the lawn and garden, but then when it comes to the holidays, it's they have the spooky season, the Halloween, and then it's Christmas, whoever got the coolest thing going on. And I think dude across the street, a few houses down, is competing this year because he went all out. I was like, damn, he went all out. Oh, right, Australia coming into the summertime now. There's another YouTuber friend. She calls herself Flower Folk Farm, Flower, and then Folk, Folk, Flower Folk Farm. I think her first name is Anita. I've watched a couple of her videos. She's a neighbor. Australia. She's coming through from Australia. I can't say what part of Australia. I have no idea. But anyway. That when you said coming into summer, I'm like, oh, I knew that because she talks about that, getting everything ready. And the horrible rains they had recently. Yeah, and the flooding. Yeah, crazy, right? Were you affected by that at all, Anthony? The flooding and stuff? When she was showing video, it was just like everything, water everywhere. It was crazy. Gimmick the cat gained a pound. Yay, Gimmick gained a pound. I don't think Zoe gained a pound, that's for sure. So my concern now is Mars is getting back. Like it's at 19. It's going to go, let me check the thing. Where the hell is my thing? Oh, I put it down. Crap. Hold on, I got to pull it up. You probably won't see it. Astrgold. Where are you? Yeah, I was trying to do a quick video ahead of time. Let me do this. Let me see where we're at. Let me close that out. So yeah, let me do this real quick. Like, why the hell not? And then I'll pop back. But that way you guys can see what I'm looking at. So you're not like, gee, can you share that with us? And some of you who do like your journaling, if you do daily journaling and stuff, you probably already know all of this. Yeah, because daily journaling for the moon is a smart idea. But so right now as we speak, right, there's the sun, November 26th, right? 9:17 p.m. Central Standard Time. The sun is at 4:50, so 5 degrees of Sag, Mercury and Venus at 15. Oh my God, I was just recording a couple of videos and it was just bizarre. I felt like, I don't know, I couldn't remember certain words. I felt retarded. And I'm like, what is going on? Mercury's in Jupiter in Sag, yeah, which is kind of like the Neptune effect, right? So if you're a person who's into details, right now, details are going to get fuzzy because it's Mercury in Sag. It's a very, can be dreamy and idealistic. Just think Neptune, right? Jupiter, Neptune. Yeah. Because it expands and blows things out. There's the moon in Capricorn. Yes, at 18. Oh, now that makes sense. That makes sense. The dang moon is trining my Mars because all of a sudden, like a few hours ago, I was just feeling like, I don't know, like after Thanksgiving, I just was kind of like worn out. And I was just like, oh my God, I don't feel like even going alive tonight. And then it was just all of a sudden, I was like, a rush to get a whole bunch of stuff done. I recorded like 3 videos. I'm like, holy crap, where is this coming from? The moon is trining my Mars. I have a Mars in Taurus, 19 degrees. And that moon is trining it. Yeah. I also have my Pluto in Earth, 20 degrees. Yep. So this moon is also trining my Pluto. Yes, it is. So there's a nice grand air supportive air train. So anyhow, that's just kind of me trying to understand what's going on. And they're Cirrus and food. I don't know about you guys. Remember I was talking about Mars being in Gemini, which is how I began this topic, and talking about the stomach issues, right? In the animals, and that's what we were talking about, right? Gained some weight, right? So now it's like Mars. I didn't even look at Mars, and I just did that. All right, let's zoom back over that way. Sorry about that. Mars is down here at 20 degrees. 20. Yeah. So in a few days, right? 19, then 18, then 17, then 16. Um, it'll be entering back into that territory again where it seemed like there was an increase of pet issues, right? Speaking of which, one of the guests that were over for Thanksgiving just lost her little furry friend, and I think it was a few weeks ago. She said, if I remember correctly, her cat. Her cat was a Russian blue, just like Zoe. She passed a few weeks ago, and I think she was younger than the girls we have here. So it's just a difficult time for pet owners. Definitely is a difficult time. It's a challenge because of that damn Mars. You see Mars, and it's right here, and it angles, right? Mars squaring Sirius right now, but the beautiful thing is it's pulling away because it's going down in numbers, and the Sirius is going up in numbers. So they're separating, right? Which means the square will no longer be. Um, yeah. So that's good news. That's a piece of good news, I think. Yeah. That's kind of like what I wanted to talk about real quick there when we were talking about pets. That works to break up the lives and pass there. Yeah. It just makes more sense. Some of the ones that were up as a whole big chunk, they were done accidentally. Like I didn't realize I didn't press private on them, and so they automatically just stayed on the channel. Like I never got to put them into private mode. And then once they were up, I was like, oh well, whatever. They're already up, leave them there. So yeah, if you ever see them thrown up there, it's usually a mistake. I know Alyssa was here that one time, the first live one up, and she was like, "Oh, thank you so much," because it was the one where she first initially. So it was probably the end of September where she first showed us that her husband was visiting and showing us the video that she took of him, the orb flying all around and stuff. And I didn't leave it up on purpose. It was a complete, yeah, it wasn't on purpose. And she's just like, "Oh, thank you so much." And I'm like, "Oh, you're welcome." But it was a mistake actually. But, I didn't, well, actually, I felt bad because I didn't know if she wanted me to put that and to leave it up there. You know what I mean? Because like what's on the live and what we talk about here doesn't typically go on the channel. So it's in a way private. Like if you weren't here, if you missed it, you missed it. Right. And so I just kind of thought, oh shit, is she going to be upset? And thank God she was like, "Oh, thank you so much." And I was like, whew. I was concerned. Um, so Anthony says, "Thanks, Gia. I understand that breaking up the videos are easy." Yes. Okay, great. I appreciate your patience and understanding. I really do. Thank you so much. Pizza dude. Pizza, what is up? Pizza dude says, "Beam me up." You want some beam you up tones? Let me see if I can get it. Okay, let me see if I can do it, Pizza Dude. Hold on a second. I got this scrunchy little sound effect thing. And then I gotta find my sound effects. Hold on. They're not far. I gotta remove that. So you want a beam, right? All right, hold on a second. This might be actually really loud because I made some changes with the microphone. And so that I could keep it further away. I figured out something I didn't realize before. And that was my concern, that you could hear each other, or I could hear you, or you could hear me. So let me see if this works. Wait, beam in. It's not really the same, is it, Pizza Dude? Oh, thank you, Pizza Dude. Let's try it again. Beam in. There you go. We beamed you in. Yay. How did it sound? I don't even know if I had it up loud enough. That's a beaming out. Yeah. Oh, that's our force field, guys. That is our force field. Computer alert. Oh. Okay, Lou says. Overall went better than expected. Oh, the turkey day, good. All the grandparents together for the first time. That must have been pretty damn wild. I did it. Hey, I have a question. I just heard something this Thanksgiving that kind of blew my mind away. I wasn't aware. The guest kept saying something about a target turkey, and I'm just thinking, I didn't really understand what that was. I've never bought a bird from Target or Target, and I didn't realize that you could pull it from the freezer, right? You could pull it from the freezer and pop it right in the oven because it's cooking in that bag, that I don't know, that magical bag, right? That it can cook from the state of frozen. And so, yeah, we were discussing that, and I was like, "What the hell? I never knew that." Like, how long has this been around? It takes all the work out of figuring out, like, do I have to how long is it gonna take to thaw the damn thing before I put it in the oven? Like, that whole nightmare. So, what did you do, Lou? You hosted. Did you have turkey? Maybe you didn't. Because my question originally was because everyone kept saying, you kept hearing on the news, there's a shortage in the birds because they were sick, so they had to put a lot down. There was like that bird virus or whatever. So the cost was going to be really high for the birds. So I figured, well, then maybe people weren't going to be doing turkey. But yeah, did anybody do a turkey? And did you get to do a Target turkey? And because I heard nothing but awesome things about it, and I don't even eat turkey anymore. So but it was just fascinating because there have been years where I did that whole thing, and yeah, it was a bit of work. It was a bit of work. Um, Need to build up the defenses. There you go. And the throat thing, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it was Anthony and Lou S. I thought so. Let me go back this way because it actually helps. Is that Renee Gomez? Did I miss you, Renee? I see your name here. I'm trying to read it on my phone because it's just so much easier. Hold on, I'm gonna get to you. Oh yes, my neck needs to be covered when it gets cooler. So you have that covered right now. So for you, 60 degrees, your neck needs to be covered. Is that what you're saying? Wow. Well, it makes sense. You've been there. You've been in a warm environment. Actually, you've been in a warm environment for a long time. Yes, new Renee Gomez is in the house. How the heck are you, Renee? Yeah, Renee's another person that would probably like some prayers, huh? A lot of man, now that I think about it, oh my God, there's another person that I was communicating with today on the channel, and uh, just a lot of hard stuff. A lot of hard stuff some folks are going through. A lot of loss, and really similar to you, Renee. Not necessarily a sibling thing, but this other viewer had lost her mom within the last year. And she had just said today that they had just gotten news a couple of weeks ago about her dad. I forget exactly the details, but either way, the person's in hospice now. And so she's, like it was just like, okay, that just happened. And now, now her dad. So it was just like, what the hell? It's just a really tough time. really tough time. Oh, good, Lou. Your kitty's been doing wow. So maybe the acupuncture's really doing a good thing. That's good to hear. The flooding has been catastrophic. Let me cheat and read it on the damn phone. Let me back up. The flooding has been catastrophic. More rural farming areas. Yeah, in the outer areas of Sydney, no flooding, thankfully. Yeah, wherever she's at, she's definitely it just looks like all farmland wherever she is. I know that could be different because all she's showing is what's on her land, basically. Moving into Sagittarius season was a ton of weight removed this year. So did you feel it? Did it make things feel a little bit lighter once this happened for you, Renee? Um, I mean, it's understandable, right? Sagittarius, we've got a lot in Sag, and it's all trining Aries, right? Sag is optimistic. It also, like you mentioned, um, faith, belief, hope. Yep, Sagittarius energy is all that. So yeah, I know we had mentioned like maybe that would happen, and I tend to feel a little bit lighter in regards of feeling hopeful. Um, again, it's Jupiter. It's Jupiter. Yeah, and you know what? Renee, you and Lou, matter of fact, Lou S was just making a comment earlier under one of the videos about the gardening bit. And I know Renee said the same thing. Renee said that she was starting a garden this year and she was using it as a way to kind of like channel the pain and the hurt and trying to do something for the family, try to take that and create something with it. And I just thought that's genius because anytime I went through anything really big and intense and deep, um, yeah, all that deep, intense, painful, insane shit, it was all way before I started like getting into art and creating. And so I never had a creative outlet. Never. Like it would seem like I was always working. And if I wasn't working, I was home with kids and raising kids and like having a home and you know what I mean, like doing all the home domestic shit. And so there was never I never I just never had a creative outlet like that. And I just thought that's such a great idea. I mean, I know I recommend it on the channel all the time because, well, yeah, I do it that way now, but I wasn't doing that then. It was all, yeah, pretty much held in. What I did do when I started writing, and that was the first form of a creative outlet for me in dealing with just heavy shit, difficult stuff, painful crap. I started writing, and that was huge for me. But again, that was not until many, 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 and I mean like 20, 25 years after some of the tragic shit, after some of the hard stuff. So I was telling Renee, God, I wish I had done that then. Um, yeah, it's just a great outlet. It's a great way to channel what you're feeling, especially if there's ever an anger involved. And I heard a lot of people talking about anger recently, which makes sense, especially those who experienced recent losses, because it kind of brought up past losses and the anger that was associated. Because there's a lot of different ways. I remember one time. This is just a quick example. This is when I used to work with the public one-on-one all the time, right? And so the customer walked up, and he was one of the regulars, which was nice. We had like these senior regulars who were usually behaved, and there were some that weren't, but for the ones that were, they would come up, they would make a purchase, and then they would make some small talk, and they would just this was like their daily thing, and it was kind of like their way to have social interaction. They didn't really have it otherwise, right? So he was explaining to me, he was like, I'll never forget the time my buddy that he was, I guess, I don't know, they were in Vietnam together. I think that's what he said. They were Marines or something. And he said, my buddy invited me down to his home. And I said, well, that's nice. He said, yeah, I hadn't seen him in so long. He said, so I went. I said, good. And he said, and when I got there, I wasn't there for more than a day and he died. Now, he was a guest in his home. So he was a guest in his home and the host died in the home. And he looked at me very serious and he said, that son of a bitch. I mean, he was really mad. He was still very mad as he was telling me the story. He wasn't telling me the story of that he was sad that he lost his best friend. He was expressing anger. He was still angry. And it wasn't so much about the best friend because they hadn't seen each other in forever, but it was more of, so this guy invited me here so that he could die, even though he didn't say those words. It was as though that's how he felt. He was really angry that this, yeah, I know. My seniors used to tell me shit that they wouldn't tell. Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, and there's way more private shit than that I'm not even going to bother sharing because some of it was just inappropriate stuff. But he would say that, or he was saying that he was mad and it was the worst thing anybody had ever done to him. And I was like, okay, like, alrighty. It was just wild. I hear he had me because he was like, yeah, we did this together, like talking way back in the past. And so he really kind of blindsided me when he started talking about when he went to go visit him and his friend died, but that he was pissed at him. And I was like, wow. And so that's a reality, though. There are people when someone dies, they're just like, why did they do it? They chose this, type of thing. And it's like, I don't know if it's necessarily always that way. I mean, there are some that claim that they can do that they can come and go as they please. There are some that claim that they can do that. I don't think that's typical. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, these are just some interesting topics, interesting things. And lately, loss has just been huge that we've been hearing and talking about because we just got out of Scorpio season, right? And it doesn't have to be loss, but it's really more about intense hurts, things that have happened. And it's unfortunately can be tragic because it's Scorpio. So it's, yeah, just it's powerful stuff, right? Anyway, blah, blah, blah. Let me move on before I keep rambling. So I did a lot of cooking tonight. Gimmick's appetite went down the last 2 days. Gimmick sounds like Zoe. The appetite goes down. It's really, is it possible, just very finicky? And I'm not saying she doesn't have stomach issues because she does. Like when she has a fur ball that she's just got to get out, she won't eat. She totally will not eat. So once a week we give her, yay, what do you guys do for hairballs, for fur balls, for the kitty cats? We have this tube of, I don't know what her parents found her. And so they, we both try to give it to her. We're supposed to give it to her, like, is it twice a week? I think we're on a twice a week routine. So like every 3 days or something, because Zoe is an excessive groomer and she's changed. It's not as excessive as she was, but she was always an excessive groomer anyway. When Mars went into the Gemini thing, it started getting bad. And then I just, started brushing her again. So the grooming, she doesn't do it it's not as obsessive compulsive. Does that make sense? Yeah, she gets obsessive compulsive about it. So okay, let me see if I can do it. Oh, I'm trying to read the comments. Crap, I don't want to hear myself. Holy crap. It's nothing worse than hearing yourself on a recording. And when you have to edit, oh my God. It took me a year to get over that, but I did. So yeah, there's just a lot of loss, a lot of hard stuff that people are going through. And coming out of Scorpio season, it's appropriate. And I think conversations about it are also appropriate because I don't think we do that enough. So yeah, I made him and I some dinner to get back on track. Well, that's good. So what does he like to get back on track? With Zoe, it's really simple. They just, pop open a can of tuna and She's all over the shit. But the thing is, she wants it every meal, and that's what makes it difficult with her, because she, she'll walk up and sniff it, whatever it is, and then she'll like walk to the other side of the room and sit by the garbage can and just look at you and wait. She'll wait for like the other entree coming out of the refrigerator or whatever. She'll be like, okay, what's the other option? She will. But if we stick to our guns, she normally comes back and will eat whatever we put out there. Eventually, if you make her wait, she'll eventually come back. And I'm not talking like 24 hours. It's not like that. So Pizza Dude says, oh, I'm sorry. This is Tolu S. How funny you should mention it. I put up my holiday outdoor lights which consists of icicle lights, reefs, net lights for my bushes, light up angel, inflatable nutcracker. Whoa. Are you competing? Are you one of those? Oh, yeah. Pizza Dude. I've seen your chart. You're competing, aren't you? You're like my neighbor down the street. He's putting up everything so he can to win the, I don't know, the great Christmas star who's got the best decorations. What is the glyph in the 10th? Okay, yeah, let's go back to that real quick, because I know, Lou, you asked me something about glyphs before, and I think what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to start putting up really short videos. I don't think they're going to be shorts. Shorts, the YouTube shorts have to be under 90 seconds. I don't think they're going to be that short, but what I'm thinking of doing is what we're talking about right now, which is going through all the glyphs, and it'll be really basic. This is the glyph. This is how you draw the glyph. Here's the name under it, and then a couple of keywords, and that's it. And that will be the video. I think. Do you think that would help? I think it would help. When I get glyph questions, I'm like, okay, I should just answer these questions in a video. But then I'm like, I'll just start creating videos that answer these questions. I don't always have time for that. Otherwise, I would do it exactly like that. A lot of channels do that. Let me get that chart up again, Lou. Okay, that was a good. Glad to hear, Pizza Dude. So the question is, in the 10th, 419 in Capricorn. All right, so let me move this. Let me go find the chart real quick because I'm on. Aha. Right here, Lou. Right? That's the one. It looks like Venus, and it looks like Venus and Jupiter. It's called Cupido or Cupido, however you want to pronounce it. It's almost like a Spanish version of Cupid. Yeah. So in other words, it's going to be similar to Cupid, the sign of, or the symbol that represents love and partnerships and commitment, possibly. So in Capricorn, it's going to be professional partnerships because it's in Capricorn. And Lou, is this the same glyph you were asking me about before? I can't remember what video it was. And because you described something that kind of looked like the cross or something, and for whatever reason I said part of fortune, and you were like, no, I thought that's X marks the spot, and you're right. Here's X marks the spot. That is part of fortune. So was it the cross with like the head with the fro on top? Because that's Juno. And then there's the Black Moon Lilith, who has a cross on the bottom. Will you light up, please? Pretty, please? Stubborn. Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. That's the Black Moon Lilith. The White Moon Lilith looks identical, except she is up in Pisces at 10 degrees, and it just has a white line through the Black Moon. And so the White Moon Lilith is right there. But they both have a cross on the bottom. I'm sorry, my lips and my tongue, like, it's just so weird. Venus and Mercury and all in Jupiter and Sag, everything is just blah. So did that answer your question, Lou? Yeah, right. That's what I was wondering. Pizza Dude, are you competing? That's a lot of stuff, man. Love to see that set up. Yeah. Take a ride down the street, right? I need to get another session for Kitty. Oh, okay. So maybe it was beneficial. You don't know. You said it was just one session. Did she seem to, I don't know, like while she was having the session, was she fine with it? And then afterwards, did there seem to be a difference? I mean, it's awesome that she seems to be doing better. For a while there, you were saying it didn't look too, I don't know, just sounded rough. It sounded like she was really going through a rough time. I think everyone, I'm busy reading everybody's comments. D is in the house. What is up, D? How the heck are you? Welcome to the live. Forgive me if I don't remember where you're watching from. I have Venus and Mercury in Sagittarius tonight, so the details are really fuzzy. Seriously fuzzy. Yeah. I'm just like, what the hell? And you know what it is? My palace, I'm just realizing that Venus and Mercury in Jupiter, they're squaring my Pallas Athena, and I have Pallas Athena in Virgo. So she gives me the ability to look at the details, like all this shit simultaneously in the charts, I really think, and to kind of like piece it together and have it all create a story out of what I'm looking at, and that's all being squared by Pallas. Yeah. So I'm just like, yeah, things are strange for me right this moment. Thankfully, Venus and Mercury moves fast. So yeah, where are you watching from, D? And Lou S, yes. Allastrology, thanks for mentioning. You are welcome. Yeah, my dad's, yes, right. Renee's gone through so much, and it's just, it's, I was, yeah, I don't know what I clicked on. Anyway, yeah, it's just crazy. There's a lot of folks who have been going through some heavy duty stuff back to back. Back to back heavy duty stuff. Okay, let me do this. So, Allastrology, I have seen, where am I at? I'm in, okay, I got to catch up. It's just easier to read the chat. If I could find it. I can't find the chat. Oh, let me like my video. Let me like the live. Anybody like the live tonight? I should probably like it, huh? Okay, so I'm about, oh, I passed you right up. Let me find you. Oh, come on. There you are. I have seen that when someone close to someone passes and the anger they have at the one who passes on such, and such utter anger, seen it with brothers more than once in different families. Yeah, I can't say that for myself that I was angry at the person that passed. So I guess I was really surprised when the guy shared that with me. I was surprised. I'm not saying I've never felt anger over a person's death. Definitely felt anger, but not towards the person that passed. And so that really kind of, I was like, wow. I was just really shocked. I was shocked. He surprised me, which isn't hard. You ever worked with seniors? Yeah, they can knock your socks off by just the shit they say. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I would kind of prefer for people to be straightforward. So D says, I knew someone who chose when to move on, closed his eyes, and went to the other side. He had been a long-time Buddhist practitioner. Okay, so I have questions. I have questions now. And my questions are, so this person wasn't ill. This person wasn't previously sick. This was just like a sudden thing where they were like, my time is done here. It's time to shut down and move on. And I'm not trying to be funny either, because like I said, I've heard stories like what you're saying, and that's what I'm asking. That's exactly what I'm asking for some clarity on that. Dee's got all the answers for us, for the kitties. Yay, yay, yay. Well, that's what I was thinking. That is exactly what I was thinking. Coconut oil. I was thinking, well, Zoe's really picky, so I'm going to have to figure that one out. But any fish oil would work, right? Yeah, fish oil, absolutely. Yeah, freaking fish oil would work. Like the DHA and all those good stuffs, that would work, right? I could totally see her being crazy over that. But yeah, these are all good. Olive oil, coconut oil in the food, probiotics, slippery elm. Yeah. So have you used it for a cat? I'm just, because like when it comes to trying to put something in food to trick them, I don't know. I don't think that works with cats. I think they have to like it. And here's the thing, like Zoe would be all about it probably. One thing I do notice is that there is what was it, like a turkey and a sweet potato food. I was shocked, but she's been eating the crap out of that. She loves that. And it's a pate. And normally anytime we put a pate down, Zoe like puts her nose in the air and walks away. But not for the sweet potato and turkey. She's all over that. So yeah, great recommendation. And that is kind of what I was hoping and thinking. It's something more natural. And she doesn't really even care for this paste, this crap that we have. Because we couldn't find the one she originally liked. The one she originally liked was a catnip flavor. So, you'd put a little bit like on her nose or whatever, and she would just lick that up, Well, they lick up whatever you put there, but you could actually put it in your hand and she would smell it. And then she would, there was no like tricking her and rubbing it on her face thing. But the new one, I can't remember what the flavor is, but it's not the catnip. And so when she first got it, she was like, oh yeah. But now I kind of just gotta just put it on her nose. That way she's forced to lick it off. Yeah, I think Zoe and Gimmick are definitely the same. Absolutely. I have a tube of paste for him that I just got. I don't think it's too bad, but he might need a homeopathic upset stomach remedy. Yeah, that's kind of like what I was telling Zoe today, because she was just laying in her chair, and she's one of those cats where she's like an active dreamer. When she's sleeping, you can see it and hear it. But she was making louder noises than usual, and I'm just like, oh God, Mars. I wonder if she's having like stomach aches like while she's sleeping, which isn't normal for Zoe. If she's out, she's out. But then you'll hear her sometimes like when she's dreaming, but not like this. It's just a different sound that she's making. I'm like, oh, damn Mars. And I was telling her, I'm like, we just got to tough it out. It's 4 more months. 4 more months we have to tough this Mars thing out. Yeah, I agree. Zoe and Gimmick are related. Yeah, right? Very interesting comments. Did I miss the first one? Oh, no. She had all good comments. I love it. I love the input. Like, we need it, man, especially because we're coming in. Yeah, the first 20 degrees is where, I feel like actually, I think it was probably the first 15 degrees where she had the most difficulty, because then like once Mars got further into the teens, it wasn't as bad. She started eating again. And then the last few days, especially Thanksgiving, we're all sitting at the dining room table. There was just 4 of us, but you could hear a kitty cat in the other room eating, and it was Zoe. She had the poultry. She had already been up on the kitchen counter and had it on the ground and was eating away, having her Thanksgiving feast. God only knows for how long. I don't know. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't even know the name of the one here. I would have to go and get the tube because that's what we were looking for, a homeopathic sort of a paste. But then I was reading the ingredients on the damn thing, and, I mean, first of all, she's not my cat. I'm not her actual parent. So, um, yeah. And, but anyway, I was reading the ingredients on it and like, I think there's corn syrup in there and shit. And I'm just like, oh, geez, really? Like, we couldn't, like, does there have to be corn syrup in this shit? Like, I'm pretty sure she'll, we could, I mean, at least, I don't know. Maybe honey's not good for them, but she loves sweet potato. So, what kind of paste? Who the hell knows? um, Oh, awesome. Anthony says, I think a short glyph video would help for sure, especially for those learning. Well, yeah, and there's a lot of different glyphs, you know, Venus, Mars, the moon, like all that shit's easy, right? But when you start talking about some of the other things, like the one we just showed, that Cupido one, and then there's multiple Cupids, like there's more than one. And so I've just been pulling up whatever I am drawn or led to, and then I keep them on the chart to see, do they matter? Can we track them? And does something happen here? Which may pan out and may not. It may be nothing. It might be like, why waste your time? But so this is the one I was asking about, the mashup of Jupiter and Venus. Oh, the Cupid one then. That was the Cupido one. That's the one you were asking about? It was in the comment section under one of the videos. You said it looked like a cross. You remember that? And then for some reason, what popped in my head was part of fortune. I was like, it's the part of fortune. You were like, no, that's like the X marks the spot. I'm like, yeah, you're right. It's X marks the spot. Yeah, it must have been a different one. You just might not remember. I mean, my God, right? I ain't competing. My stuff looks skimpy compared to other people. Oh, okay. I was just curious because, yeah, it seems like it just, I was saying it might be just because it's warmer out now. It's warmer right now, and you just never know. Like in the week, you could have 20-degree temperatures. Like we had teens. We already had daytime highs that were in the teens. You don't want to be putting up shit during that weather. That's insane. My housemates were telling me that at the job, the owner was doing that when it was like really freezing out, when it was like 15 or 20 or 18 or whatever it was. He was out putting up lights, and I'm like, holy shit, like that's cold temperatures. Yeah. Athens, Georgia. Dee's watching from Athens, Georgia. Well, welcome. Dee, I think I'm getting you and somebody else confused. Which, yeah, tonight that's going to be common. So don't take it personally. But welcome, Athens, Georgia. Because I think there was someone here last week, and I thought it was you. And they're like, no, that's not me. Where were they from? I want to say they were watching from maybe New York or something. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Yes, Kitty was fine after session, so is beneficial. Oh, good. Good. Good to know. I'm just trying to figure out, how did that work during the session? Because I just can't envision Zoe or Taffy. Like, you would have to give them like some pet rescue remedy to get them to like chill. How did that work? Because I know there's that remember we were talking about it before? It calms that certain hormone in them. We brought it up last week, I think. We were talking about that. And I know we used it at the cat habitat when I used to volunteer, especially when you were dealing with like the feral cats that would come in. You would need something, and it would be like this Glade plug-in thing almost, I think they had. And what it would do, it would give off that some sort of a something or other that would chill all that in them. And yeah, it helped. It helped take the edge off. They were still wild and crazy and feral and And I don't mean that in a negative way. That was actually my favorite. I was working with the feral cats. That was my hands down my most favorite. Eating vegan marshmallows. What does this mean? What is? Are you just saying you're having vegan marshmallows in your coffee right now, or your hot chocolate, or? um, Pizza Dude wants to know if they're dandies. You know what? I am not a marshmallow person. It's okay to have marshmallow in something, but you're not going to see me grabbing like a marshmallow and popping it in my mouth. That's not my thing. You got to dip that baby in chocolate. Preferably roast that marshmallow first and then add a damn graham cracker too. That would be perfect. I know my mother is a marshmallow freak. I don't know if she still is, though. She used to make homemade marshmallows. That's what she used to do at Christmas time. Well, baking in our family was huge at Christmas, and she would go all out. She would go all out, man. She would go all out. She would make from scratch the Linzer cookies. I don't know if you've ever made, I might have the word wrong, but I believe it's a Linzer style cookie, which is a lot of work. It's cookie cutter type of work, and it's layers. You're layering. You have like a base, and then you have like a jam you put on, and then you put the previously cut cookie shape over the top of it, so it has this. Anyway, it's just, it takes some detailed and patience, and you got to be able to bake to do that shit. But yeah, I would be like, damn, you go all out. But yeah, homemade marshmallows, and she would leave part of them plain, and then she would take a batch of them and dip them like in dark chocolate, because my dark chocolate runs in all of our I think that I don't even think we have blood. I think we just have chocolate. Like if you would have slit, like it's just chocolate coming out. I don't think I don't think there's really any blood there. So yeah, dark chocolate. I am all about the glyph videos. Okay, good. Yeah, that came after you had asked those questions. I was just like, you know what? This shouldn't be this difficult. And if it is, I have to take care of that, because I need to just take care of that and do it. That way it can be like, here's a link. Go check this out, Dandy. Okay, you all know about dandies apparently. Nah, that's not me. Good. Jumbo mini. Look at Pizza Dude pumpkin. That's probably good. The pumpkin spice marshmallowy thing is probably really good, actually, huh? Even the peppermint. Dip that baby in chocolate. Yes. Yes, he was sick. I'm missing out on this. Who was sick? Oh, I'm sorry. Forgive me. You're answering the question. My bad. So she said, yes, he was sick, but he decided he did not want to pursue treatment and did not pass unexpectedly, although was inevitable, naturally, right? He decided the day and the time, while surrounded by his immediate family, closed his eyes and passed. I've heard a lot of stories about people who do that. And that's why I kind of said that. I haven't witnessed that, but thank you for sharing that story. Just so people know, like, it's not all, it's, if someone is trained, I guess, right? Like you said, they have the ability to do it. And there are authors, I'm trying to remember. There's a couple of different authors. I used to be really good at remembering authors' names. There's a couple of books I have in the other room, and they did that very thing. They told people, and actually it was like I think a year in advance. They would tell people, on such and such date, I'm checking out. And sure enough, on such and such date, they checked out. Oops. Did you see that? I said they checked out and my light went. How crazy is that? What time is it? Oh my God, this light lasted only an hour? What the hell? I have another one. Never fear. Never fear. Hold on. We'll be back in business shortly. I'm just shocked at that light. Although I was recording videos earlier, I wasn't paying attention as to how much time I had on them. I got to back up. Let's see what we do here with this backup. Let's see. Let's see how this works. Wow. Is that a little bit better? I don't know if that's better or not. Yeah, that works. I just don't want it on the screen. I don't know. I can't ever tell. I am always having issues with the damn lighting. So, Renee says, oh, yeah, Renee, thank you for bringing that up. So, I want you to explain that to me, but give me a minute and I'm going to get there. Fish oil would be great. Yeah. Yes, I've had cats forever. Okay, good. That's what I was thinking. A fish oil would be good. So I will recommend and see, because I just think that I mean, obviously it's a waste if she doesn't take it, and it's probably a lot messier. Do you know what I'm saying? Having like a fish oil on yeah, it could be a lot messier. Maybe that's why they do the sticky stuff. This damn light. Without being sick. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I just like alternative stuff, and I just don't know why I didn't be like, yeah, fish oil, duh. All right, so now Renee, you're going to teach us this. Do you want to come on the screen? I can put the link in the chat. You can come on the screen. Because whatever you're talking about, you're calling it skipped steps. Renee says, do you know anything about skipped steps? ? Node squares. Okay. So you're saying that when the transiting node squares your natal node, there is an acceleration. You kind of get catapulted to the next, this is what I'm doing for my future. This is where I'm headed. And I could be wrong. Is that what you're saying? And it might not even be that at all. But when you wrote node squares, that's inevitable. That happens to everybody, but might not be that. So maybe you want to just type it in. If I put the link down below, you don't have to be on the screen, like in a little avatar emoji or whatever the hell shows up on the other side. And all we do is hear your voice. It's a lot easier than this. Again, I'm not suggesting because I think you should be doing that. I'm just saying that's an option. All right. Oh, thank you for sharing. What else we got here, Lou? Hearing differing opinions. Sounds familiar, right? From vets about cat diets. Some say no fish as iodine levels are too high. Right. Some say raw only, and rabbit is ideal, followed by chicken, organs, and veggies. Okay, so we had some rabbit, and Zoe didn't care for it. And Taffy, she'll eat anything that's cat food. She's not into human food at all. So if it's something like we would eat off our plate, Taffy has zero interest in it. But if it's something that comes out of a can, who knows? Cats are so habitual, habit-like. So like if we opened a can and put it in a bowl, then it might trigger something in her where it's like, oh yeah, this is dinner. It could be that too. I don't know. But that's what the part about, because I know like the tuna thing, she's not supposed to have that a lot because of that, Lou, right? That's the whole idea, the iodine levels. And that's what I thought. I was like, why are we letting her have tuna if she can't have it? But, whatever. So both vets agree. Senior cats all die from a combo of kidney, heart, and thyroid issues, which cannot be prevented. Oh, that's sad, right? Yeah. Man, that sucks. It just sucks. Yeah, Renee, we want to hear more. We want to hear more. Because one of the things about astrology is somebody labels something as this, but it could have 5 different names to it. So I need you to describe to me what it means so I could then, look beyond the title of what it is and say, okay, yeah, I'm familiar, or no, I don't know what the hell that is, which is fine. I'm all about learning. So I can't say no to something I don't know what it is, though, or yes. How old is oldest kitty at D? Oh, good, you got D. You're okay. Allastrology, the vet did not give her anything beforehand. She was mindful of her and was with her about an hour. Oh, well, that's good. Wow. They spent a lot of time with her. That's amazing. That's awesome. Okay. Oh, that's good. Okay. She was good to go the whole 10 minutes and she made it for 9. Wow. So I'm just, yeah. Like, was she in her lap? You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to know, and I would think you were present, right? Although maybe you weren't. I don't know. I just don't know. Inquiring minds want to know. But that's fascinating. Um, get out of here. It really is for your hot chocolate. Put it in the chocolate, damn it. Um, they are an odd treat. Well, then Venus Venus was in Scorpio and now Venus in Sag. Yeah. It's cocoa time, baby. You know what? A friend of mine, well, I've never met this person. It's a YouTube neighbor, but you feel, yeah, we're neighbors, right? So he was saying that a buddy of his, matter of fact, it was boondocking with Dennis. He had this video and he was explaining that there's a homeless guy, um, yeah, who literally has no shelter, right? He's literally living on the street. And so Dennis befriended him, and they talk, and Dennis will literally, usually once a day, go and check on the guy, see if he needs anything, whatnot. So anyhow, he knew that the guy liked hot chocolate, and so in the video, Dennis was like, "Yeah," and so I went and I got him this really awesome hot chocolate with some a caramel hot chocolate with some whipped cream. And before he even said anything else, I thought he's not going to like that, because in my mind, just because that's me with who I am, what I would have liked, I just want hot chocolate. Maybe a couple of marshmallows in the hot chocolate. Don't give me any damn caramel. Whipped cream might even be okay, but definitely not a caramel hot chocolate. Anyway, he's into telling his story, and then he's like, so I get there and I'm all excited. I thought I was giving him something he'd be all happy about. And I pull up and I'm like, look, I got you a hot chocolate. And dude was like, I don't want that. And that was it. He was like, okay. He's like, so I gave it to somebody else who needed it. I'm like, anyway, that made me think of that. It was hilarious. But I just thought, not everybody who likes hot chocolate is going to want a caramel. I know I would not like a caramel hot chocolate. Not at all. Just because anytime you add caramel, it's like making it sweeter, right? And I'm just, yeah, that's just not, I'm more simplistic, I guess, or too simplistic. So they're an odd treat. Well, treat yourself, woman. Treat yourself. Yes, cocoa time. Didn't know they came in. I know, I didn't either. That's bizarre. That's so bizarre. But look, we're all learning something. Peppermint and chocolate. The peppermint would be great in the hot chocolate, right? See, now there you go. Now we're talking my language. Right. That would be good. Mint and cocoa. Right. Renee said, sure. Wow. Okay. This is awesome. So this is good. I'm really thrilled. Let me figure out how to do it. I know how to do it. Hold on. Copied. Let me put it in. Let me slam it into the link, and then it'll take you to the green room, and you won't go. I won't put you on until you tell me you're ready. You're literally sitting in a virtual green room. I'll be able to see you, and then you just go like this. You give me the thumbs up when you're ready. You can actually privately chat me. You know, there's a private chat. You can communicate with me if you're ready or not ready or whatever. So yeah. There is the chat. There is the link, I mean, for you to come in if you want to come in, and whenever it's convenient for you. I mean, I'll be here till midnight. So, wait a minute. Let me get this straight. There are cats who have been vegan for up to 14 years of life. But that's interesting because when these girls are in the kitchen and they're chowing down, I'm just like, damn, they love meat. They are meat eaters. Because I'm thinking, and I'm not thinking in my mind, oh, I need to make them vegan or anything. But I'm just thinking, these cats are carnivores. Like, holy crap. They really love their meat. Oh, I think Renee is ready. Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Okay, let me do some magic here. Are you guys ready? We're going to learn about, well, Renee will tell us what we're going to learn about. Let me see, what do I have to do here? Renee, are you ready? I see you you give me the thumbs up. There you go. She gave me the thumbs up. Yay. She's ready to come on. Now, let me make sure that we do this so that we can, or so that I can hear her. Let me turn up the volume, and I might have to disconnect. I can't remember how I did this before. I think I have to disconnect my microphone.
Okay, I can't hear anybody. Oh, can I hear you?
Hello.
There.
Can you hear me now?
Okay. Yes, I
Yeah.
do. Yes.
Yay. That's
Yes.
awesome.
Perfect.
Woohoo. We're on the screen. This is awesome. Look at this. So, how the hell are you?
I'm doing
Seeing
well.
somebody face to face, it's so totally different.
It is. I
It
agree.
is.
Yeah. So skip steps. I listened to a lot of just random what comes over YouTube, and I had been listening to an evolutionary astrologer who was talking about the phenomenon where you have the nodes, and they get a planet squaring them, and you can have multiple planets squaring them, and
Okay.
in this, it actually indicates failure to evolve. It's a
So this would
skip
be in the
step.
natal chart.
Correct. So
Okay.
if
So in the natal chart, if you have
yep,
any planet squaring your nodes,
yep. And so
it
in
represents a failure to evolve. So that way it presents an extra challenge.
so what occurs is basically you're moving along the timeline as you're supposed to in your evolutionary path, but then you encounter some kind of trauma that derails your natural evolution. And so you get hung up in a lesson, and so you skipped the actual evolution that you were headed to be headed for.
Okay.
And so you have to correct what the planets are indicating so you can move past it and get back on track you're supposed to.
So it's like a
So
side rail. It
depending on,
derails you from your path. It derails you, is what you're
it
saying.
does.
It knocks you
Yeah.
off the path,
Yeah.
like your birth
Yes.
path, basically what was set up before you were born. And then, so does your chart have this?
That's what I'm thinking. I believe I have Uranus squaring my nodes.
Well,
And
let's
so
find
when
we
I
need to do
looked
this
at it,
for everybody. Let's find this shit out. Let's find out. So it would
right?
be your natal nodes and then any natal planet squaring the nodes.
Yes. And you can have multiple. I mean,
Wow,
if
I
you're a
can
very
think of some
complex
people who I
person,
know do have this.
yeah. And
I
so
don't
there,
know if I'm one of them. Okay, so you don't know if you have it though. You didn't look.
um, I believe I do, but because of my birth situation, I was born at
Oh,
home. I'm
right.
still
The
working on that chart
change.
rectification. Yeah. So if it's accurate ish, then yes, I do have Uranus squaring my nodes.
Okay, so
first.
how does one get themselves back on that path then exactly? What's this?
The
Yeah,
fix is you look at the planet and you go into the center of the wheel
right.
and you go to the left, whichever node is to the left.
So
So
it's
if it's your
so you create a great cross.
pretty much, so you have to
Yeah,
either you got to move towards whichever node it is and lean in heavy,
right.
and
So
that can help.
because what you're suggesting would be like here's the here's the north node, here's the south node, and then here's the T square from whatever is T squaring them. And the
Mhm.
recommendation is to go over here, to go the opposite, because then that creates a great cross, right?
No, it's actually going into one of the edges of the nodes. So you have your T square, you're going to be going down the leg of one of your T square, whichever one's left. There
So it's
they
whichever one is left, meaning
Yeah.
left is in a direction when you say left.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So you go
So
into from the planet to the center of the
yeah,
wheel, and then you just
go
go to the
opposite.
left, and hmm whichever
Okay.
node's there is that. Yeah.
Yeah. So from what you just described, I could be wrong. Now, hopefully somebody in the chat can maybe do you guys understand what she's saying? And am I not understanding it right? Because I'm still stuck on here's my north and my south node.
hmm
Here's the planet that's squaring them,
Right.
right? So
So
it's a square
if you
this way, and it's a square this way.
if you turn the pin horizontal,
Okay.
yeah,
If I
yeah,
go
there
like
you
this,
go. So
right?
imagine if your planet is your fingers and you go to the center
Right.
of the wheel, right? And then
Right.
take a left.
And then go left
Yes,
or go
whichever
left,
node that
whichever
is.
way it is for you.
Yeah, whichever way
So
it
what
is for
you're
you.
saying is you're going back to either the north or the south node.
Yes. And then you use that energy to help you figure out where you're deficient or what you need to do to accomplish to help get you back on track for the skip step. It's a
Okay.
trauma
So you then
indication.
so is it possible that it's just simply going back to because it's just wild that it could either be the north or the south node they're saying to go back and use.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, see, the thing is too that in my mind, we don't really just throw away that south node energy. We're not supposed to rely on it, but we can still use it, right, to go and work with that north node stuff.
Right.
Well, now just gotta start looking this all up and see. This is fascinating. No, I had
Is it?
never heard that before. Never heard that before. Um, yeah, because what if, like, as an astrologer, it would be like, well, this is your north node. I see you have this challenge here, but this is your north node. Like, this is where you're headed. So
Right.
is it the fact that maybe some people, because of that square being there, they can't, it's like a block to accomplish that north node. So their only solution is to go to the south node that then kind of rides them back over to the north node.
Plausible.
I
No,
mean,
sure.
is that kind of the idea? Because they do run along that same line of energy. Yeah, I used to do a lot of listening actually to the evolutionary astrologers, and I think it makes a whole lot of sense. It's just
Mhm.
been a long time. I haven't looked or listened or been into really anything outside of just in my own head and doing this. So I welcome this. I welcome all the more information and new knowledge. It's awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
I hope you enjoyed it.
I did. Thank you for explaining that to my slow butt. Are
A lot of
you ready to
texting.
go now?
Covered
She's
a
gonna
lot.
get me the hell off the screen.
Yes. Thank
Thank
you.
you
All
for
right.
doing this, though. This was awesome.
No problem. All right. Bye.
Bye-bye. All right. Did you guys hear that? Was that awesome or what? Did you hear that? Well, yeah, I've never talked about that. That's for sure. That was so awesome. Thank you, Renee. That was Anthony's like, Uranus squares my nodes. Oh, and then we need to pull this up, man. So let's get Renee. Renee, are you still here? Are you in the chat? Yeah, now we got to take a look at this. This is interesting. Yeah, right. Now everybody's like, do mine. We will do it. We'll go through it. Let's since Renee brought this to the live, let's check it out. Let's see here. That was so awesome. RS. Why do I not have... Oh, you know what? Let me reverse these dang things. Maybe that's better. Yeah, Renee, I don't know you as... I don't have anything else down. There you are. Okay, I got you. There she is. All right, Renee, are you here in the chat? Renee. Oh, I don't even have my stuff on again, do I? I'm sure I'm still on. I'm sorry. You guys can probably hear me just fine. Okay, she's there. Awesome. All right, Renee, we're going to pull you up. Yes, Anthony, I got you, bro. Anthony's like, do mine. I'm first. Yeah, will this let me do this? Let me see here. Hold on a second. Oh, I see why. Up, down. Okay. Alrighty. So Renee, you did want us to look at your chart, right? I just went ahead and threw it up there real quick. Like, oh yeah. So let me find her chart on my side. Alrighty, so here's my cursor. All right, so let's go find Renee's nodes. Let me turn this down so you guys can see this. You might not be able to see it real good. I don't know if this helps. Does that help at all? I know the lighting on the display bleeds out the color. So here we go. Renee. Whoa. She's got her nodes at 29 degrees. What a huge deal. Oh my gosh. 2851. Her north node is in Leo at 2851. South node 2851. And Renee, is this the right chart? 2:19 p.m. Orlando, California. 2:19 p.m. I want to make sure. I know we had a couple of different charts for you. Is that the right one? Let me get some water while we're waiting for an answer. Oh, shit. Okay. That was crazy. All right, so here we go. North and south nodes. This is the south node in Aquarius. We're going to call it 29 degrees. North node, Leo, 29. And we're looking for what is going to square it. She said her Uranus, because it's a fixed sign, right? Leo's fixed, and so is Scorpio. And her Uranus, you know what, Renee? It's going to be right no matter what chart. It's going to be the same because your Uranus isn't going to change, and neither is your north node. It's such a slow moving thing. That's going to be the same. What's interesting though, Renee, is you have Vesta at 2627. They're both in the orb of squaring your nodes. Holy moly. All right, so that makes it a little bit like, yay. So this is what I don't understand though, okay? You said they said to go left because in Renee's chart, her nodes are horizontal, right? You guys see that? You know what? Let me do something. Let me save her chart and then I can mark it up. How about that? That'll be easier. I can draw on this thing then. Oh crap, where did it go? Yikes. Hold on. let me mark it up. We're going to use Renee's chart so that, what are we calling this? We're just going to say nodes. Node square. How about that? And then I'll mark that one up, and that'll help us. Oh, crap. I'm sorry. Hold on. Hold everything. December new moon. That's not the chart we want. I just got to get the right chart on the screen. There it is. Renee's nodes. There we go. All right. So let me get this done, and then we can walk through this together. We can learn together. Because Renee says the answer is to go left, which is interesting because some charts, their nodes are north and south in a chart. You know what I'm saying? So the idea is to, you got the chart in your hand, you turn it so that the nodes lie horizontally. Yeah. My brain is still trying to figure that one out. Okay. Present. Share screen. It's coming. It's coming. Hold on. Hold everything. It's coming. You see that? There it is. Shazam. All right. Okay, good. Let me slide this over a little bit. And then I can go like that and check the chat on my... Let me see if my phone is still running. Yes, it's still working. I was really low batteries when we began. So yes, Renee, thank you again for coming on live to do that. That was really awesome. Let's see here. Alrighty. All right, so here I am over here, right? Number 8. Node, south node right there. Okay, that is supposed to be an arrow, but it chose to not be an arrow. And there's her north node, right? Here is her Uranus, 2515, right? So it's like 3 degrees away, technically 4 degrees away. And here is her Vesta. They're all fixed signs. So it's a square. You see that? Vesta at 2627, Uranus 2515. And then we have the north node and the south node, right? Let me get rid of that. Okay, whatever. Jeez. So, thank you. Okay. Right. So this is the horizontal line. And then here's the planet that squares, although she's got the Great Cross. But we're just going to use Uranus as the example. So there's the T-square, right? And she said the answer is to go left. Well, in Renee's case, going left is the north node. Because in somebody's chart, the north node could have been, these could have been completely flipped around. I think that's what confuses me about this, is that when you're looking directly at someone's chart, because if we have somebody whose north and south node is vertical, it's the same idea then. You've got a vertical north and south node. You find the planet that squares it. And starting from the point of the planet that squares it, you go left. Well, Renee, you have 2. You have 2. So what does that tell Renee? It tells Renee she has to utilize both her north and her south node. Hence, Renee is here in the live tonight, came on the live. Yeah, Aquarius, digital groups, digital chats, online, and astrology. Yeah. So Renee's using her south node. And the north node in Leo, she got on the screen. Renee did exactly what she's supposed to do. And that's just an example, folks. That's just an example. But see, she's got that Great Cross right there. All right, Renee, we used your chart as an example. I think I get it. It's going from the point of the planet that squares and just going to the left of it. Make sense? What do you guys think? Oh, wait, let me get my head smaller. I'm sorry. I didn't realize my big head was still big. For Vesta, it would be the south node. Exactly. I agree. For Vesta, it would be the south node, which means you're supposed to use both your north and your south node. And then in your situation, it would be to use them equally, to make sure at all points in time your because your south node is your superpower. So that's not a big deal. Like, although I shouldn't really say that. Some folks with their south node, especially if it's squaring something, there may be times when things happen where it's like, okay, I'm not doing that again. Like that didn't turn out real well, you know? So I could see where there could be problems then, right? When we get burned, we're just like, I'm not going there. I'm not doing that. Um, you know what I like though is it's Vesta in Taurus. And Taurus's ruler is Venus. You have a strong Venus. It's in Taurus. And Venus is first and foremost. Yeah, she wants beauty. She wants peace. She wants peace. So I could understand how doing something that had to do with Aquarian uh, might be a little unsettling, but yeah, you seem to actually have no problem getting astrology, right? Yeah. You were just listening to some random podcast and you picked up on it and you brought it here and then you explained it. That's freaking awesome. That's freaking awesome. And then your Mars in Leo helps you to do your North Node. And yeah, so what's fascinating is you don't really need help doing your North Node because you have Mars right next to it. Your Mars is assertive, it's in Leo. So, a lot of, and this isn't for everybody, right? Some people have a difficult time doing the North Node because the South Node is the superpower. It's that innate super ability that they have, right? It's something they perfected at another time. So the opposite of it usually is a challenge because it's the opposite of their superpower. But when people have helping planets like you do, you have Mars close to your North Node, that helped you to be able to express your North Node energy. You follow? Your superpower, though, doesn't have any supporting planets next to it. Like even your descendant is at 17, it's 10 degrees away from the node. So you don't have anything supporting it. And you have Vesta squaring it. Right. Your Vesta squares your South Node. It squares that superpower of yours. So, in a way, I mean, only you could explain this to me or us, right? Because it's funny because I haven't even talked about Aquarius. Like I haven't even talked about this difficulty, about Uranus squaring your Aquarian energy. What I do know though is that Uranus in the sign of Scorpio is exalted. It does phenomenal in Scorpio. It is like superpower right there, which explains how you were just sitting listening in on an astrology thing and you grasp the concept and then turned around where we were able to share it. That's not normal. And I mean that in the best way. Like it's Cassie has that same thing. There are multiple, I don't know, is Cassie, are you still here? She might be asleep. Yeah, but Cassie has the same thing. Whenever I meet these people like you who have Uranus, because Uranus is astrology in Scorpio, they get the behind the scenes stuff. They get the details. They just innately understand certain things that take that are more challenging for others to comprehend. That's just what it is. So it's like a gift to understand that stuff. So what that tells me then too is your superpower, which is Aquarius, the planet that squares it for you actually helps. Yeah, that actually helps your superpower. Yeah. So what do you think, Renee? I'm just curious what your thoughts are as far as if you think like this is something you need to focus on. like this balancing act, because that's what we're describing here, is a balance of your north and your south node. That's what we're talking about. Astrology for Vesta, it would be the south node. Right, we got you. She says, yikes, 7th house, south node, Vesta, 10th house. What a project. Well, did you hear all the other stuff I said? Yeah, there's Cassie. Cassie is same thing. Uranus and Scorpio. Like it's as though you guys already know astrology and you know you've already done this in other lifetimes. Honestly, when I see Uranus and Scorpio, you know, Scorpio is the soul's history, the soul's memory, right? So it's like you guys already know this stuff, but it doesn't mean that your personality knows it. So once you came into contact with it, you were probably able to grasp concepts and ideas really quickly. Now, granted, that's just one thing I'm talking about in someone's chart. That doesn't mean it's a given that anybody you meet, because they could have a lot of things that angle and square and stress and tension and this and that and other things that could make a lot of those things foggy, right? Because, yeah, there's plenty of those folks who have stuff like that, where the information's there and it's like they're aware it's there, but they can't see it. And how frustrating is that? I know multiple people actually who've told me that. They've described where they're just like, I know the information is there. Like I can almost feel it, but it's like I just can't grasp it all the way. I can't fully see it all the way, but I know it's there. And so they're really frustrated about it, you know? So when you look at their charts, there's all this Pisces crap that convolutes it and that makes smoke screens. It makes it all confusing for them. So for them, it's a lot of frustration. And so, yeah, I'm just curious how you feel now about this, Renee, because having Vesta in Taurus, and what it does, Renee, is it sets up a balance for you. And I don't think, if anything, when we were talking about, yeah, you have Mars. Yeah, and of course your Mars and Vesta square exactly too, of course. And I'm only chuckling because we all have something squaring something in our life. That's just life, you know? That is just life. So for Vesta, it would be right. Let me read. Okay, I find if new concepts are given to me, I have work to do there. Part of the divine timing, I suppose. So Cassie says, I'm still learning about my moon at 29 degrees of Capricorn and the south node. Yeah, those are squaring then, right? Or wait a minute. I should pull that up. If new concepts are given to me, I have work to do there. Huh. Well, I mean, we all always have more work to do, but the way I'm looking at this chart and from what I'm seeing here, you have support you have support to do all these things. So at the end of the day, it's a balance of your great cross. You have a powerful great cross, though, woman. You have a very powerful great cross. You know, your nodes are part of a great cross, and Mars is part of it. Uranus is part of it. Yeah, it's a powerful great cross, and it's fixed. That should tell you something. It's fixed. So when something is fixed, when we're dealing with something that is fixed, it's something that is, well, it can be rigid. It can refuse to change. It can, you know, the lesson at the end of the day for all the fixed signs is to be more flexible. Become the bamboo or the but my words are not working. The bamboo. Yeah, the bamboo. Yeah, become the bamboo, not the oak tree. Like that's the whole lesson for fixed signs. You have to learn to be able to, when the wind blows, you got to be able to bend with the wind, otherwise you'll crack. That's the whole thing about the fixed energies. Leo's fixed, Taurus is fixed, Aquarius is fixed, Scorpio is fixed. Yeah, it's all fixed. That's what I see. Okay, let me get back to the chat because I'm on her chart and I can't see. Yeah, Cassie said I'm still learning about my Capricorn moon at 29 degrees and the south node at 1 degrees of Aquarius. Well, actually, I don't know why I said that's a square. Yeah, it's an out of sign square, right? Just please forgive me. My Mercury brain is not working in Jupiter. I'm struggling. So Renee says, everything has been removed from my life. And so I've got the space for the first house work and no romance. So the 7th house was released. Well, that's the thing. When we have a south node, if that was always a strong suit of yours, because that's our south node tends to be a strong suit, right? Yeah. 7th house, south node, which would be, yeah, got to have a partner, right? And you know what? That can be difficult. That can be a very difficult, especially when there are children involved. That's a tough journey. So the North Node stuff, and then having Mars there, yeah. The Leo thing, when we have a North Node in Leo energy, it's for us not to be in the spotlight, even though yours is in the first house, which is interesting, right? Because it's like, what a contradiction. It's in the first house. It's about me, damn it, right? It is. But it's kind of in a way, again, I'm going to say balance, because in a way, it's kind of like what you did here tonight. You didn't sit on the live, come in and talk for 45 minutes or something. You came in, you shared the information, and then you went back to the chat. And I think that's balanced. I don't think there's anything excessive about, oh, I need the spotlight on me. I stand out, right? There's nothing excessive about that. And normally when we have a North Node in Leo energy, it's the ability to be a part of the group without stealing others' flame, without putting out others' light, with enabling them to have the chance to be on the stage and be on the spotlight. It's basically just saying share the stage. It's really what it's saying, right? And then you're also being creative, right? You talked about doing some creative gardening and using that as an outlet for you and for the family, for your mom. And yeah, Jupiter in Virgo. Look at that, folks. Jupiter in Virgo. Yeah, I know some Virgos who are crazy gardeners. Yeah. And Leo energy too, because it's about growing something. It's about creating. It's about making something out of nothing, And that's the beautiful thing about the Leo and that Virgo energy. Yeah, and the only time it goes really wrong, I don't even know if wrong is the right way to put it, but is when we don't use that fire to create, because it's fire, it can burn, and we forget that, but if we can angle it, and channel it, then it's all good. And I don't know what else you should be doing. What do you think about that, Renee? And then here's the other thing, having a North Node in Leo, children, fun, joy, creativity, romance. So in your chart, having Mars in Leo and then like the romance department and like going after that sort of thing. Yeah, Mars being there absolutely made you very probably assertive in that way, which in a way made this happen too. It supported that South Node energy again, having Mars in Leo. So what I guess, yeah, I'm still sticking to my same thing, which is I think is you actually do have a built-in balance, even though you have this angle and this square. I mean, maybe there's just simply the awareness, just simply the awareness of it. What do you think? Okay, I'm like way down in the chat. I don't know why I'm way down there. All right. Let me go find another one. Anthony, I know you were like, do me, do me. Anthony, are you still here? I'm not going to do a chart if someone's not here. So Lou says, too many tendencies to have a garden. Too many? How can that be? What does that look like when someone has too many tendencies to have a garden? You're just saying it's always in your head. You can't get it out. It haunts you. Does it haunt you? I know that. I mean, I'm familiar with that kind of energy. Oh my God. And nothing resolves it except to just go ahead and do it or say it or, yeah, it just has to be done. All right. Anthony says he's still here. All right. All right, Anthony, let me go find you. Okay, well then we'll get into that. Let me go. Where's my stuff? Where's my stuff? Let me do that first. Hold on. Holy crap. Let me read this for you, Vesta. I'm going to read it right from there, okay? Vesta represents an issue of commitment. It includes commitments to work and to relationships. Where does your commitment lie? Where are you focusing your energies? That's just Vesta by itself, okay? I will be honest, I've read other things for Vesta. I've read Vesta as being our light and our flame that we carry, and it's more about like self-worth. This is just what I'm reading from the software, that other part about commitments. Yours is in Taurus, and so now I'm going to read you what the definition they give for Vesta in Taurus. It says you have the ability to work in a stable and persistent manner. You're committed to working in a comfortable and predictable manner. Okay, we got it, Taurus. You need to avoid becoming inflexible. Okay, well, that was just so deep. But yours is in your 10th house. So we're going to talk about that because you also have Venus there. You are dedicated to your career. You approach your career with discipline. And this is Vesta in the 10th house, by the way. A critical attitude and a need for perfection. You may find difficulty setting into one career path if you are overzealous in your need for perfection. So it sounds like they're associating perfection with the 10th house and with Vesta. I've never heard perfection associated with Venus or Taurus, although definitely stubborn, definitely non-flexible energy. So yeah, does that help you at all? Again, I've read Vesta definitions to be more about self-worth and carrying in your own torch and not allowing others to put out your torch and put out your light. And so yours being in the 10th house, professional light that you carry for sure. So relationships, because remember that 7th house, that can be professional relationships. Keep that in mind. So maybe that's really the thing here. Maybe it's about a professional relationship or something. I don't know. I'm not asking you to like lay your entire life out on the line, but I just wanted to share that so that you could have that tidbit and hopefully Hopefully that helps a little bit. All right, Anthony, let me go find you. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to mark it up so that. So Anthony, is yours going to be under Anthony? Probably, right? Like I don't think I put in a last name. Nope, Anthony, right? Does May 5th, 1980 sound right? Yeah, that's got to be you. That's got to be you. Yeah, New Zealand. New Zealand, is that you, Anthony? There we go. We're going to save that. And we'll mark that one up. Anthony. There we go. And let's go like that. All right, now I got to find you. There it is. Look at that. That didn't take any time at all. Awesome. Okay, let's move things around here. Let's mark this damn thing up. Can't remember. Is this on or what? Okay, so we're good over there. And then let's go share this so that you guys can see what I'm looking at. Wrong button. Bear with me. Share screen. Yes. Bam. All right, let's get rid of that. And let me. Oh, I ate really early. I'm getting hungry right now. I always do that with these damn lives. So I usually bring like something to snack on while I'm on live with you guys because I'm just like, is anybody hungry? Anybody else hungry? All right, so we're going to find Anthony's north and south node. Look at what we got. Another north node Leo. Look at this. Another Leo north node. 2528. Anthony's got his north node in Leo. So his south node is in Aquarius. See how fixed we all are? We all have so much fixed energy. Okay, so we got that hanging out there. And now we're going to look for the square. So that's going to be 25 degrees of... Oops. That's why he was like, do me, do me. Look at Aquarius. I'm sorry, Uranus in Scorpio. This is actually 24 degrees. So that is a tighter square than what Renee has, actually. Yeah, his Uranus is 2356, so that's 24 degrees. Uranus in Scorpio, squaring his north and south node. Now let's see if he has anything in Taurus. Well, of course he does. He has his ascendant. So Renee, another person who has a very similar chart, a very similar setup, I'll say, because he has his ascendant and descendant squaring his north and south node. He also has Sirius. We've talked about his Sirius before, the food. Will that let me do that? No. There's his Sirius at 22. So that's 3 degrees away from squaring his north node. Wow, Anthony. So it's the same thing. It is the same thing because we're going to go like this. Oh, my lines suck. Oh, thank you. You fixed it for me. So there's that one. And we're going to do one at a time, right? We're going to go to the Uranus energy. There's your square, right? Now, according to the lesson, we go to the planet, which is Uranus, and then we go left, right? We start there, go to the center, and go left. And what do we have? His north node, okay? And your north node is the same thing that I spoke about for Renee, except yours is professionally. Yours is at your job. Yours is where you're sharing the spotlight with others. It is not all about me, right? And it's not so much me, because there's this difference, right, between Aries, me, and Leo, me. There's a difference. You know, Aries is just all about myself and doing what I want to do when I want to do it, right? Leo tends to think that it's it's not just the boss of itself, but others that are around it, especially in the 10th house, because it's the sun, right? So Leo might end up forcing the spotlight on itself and then being the boss and demanding that it be the way that the Leo thinks it should be. So that was that. And that also is the same thing for your physical body and your ascendant, right? It's going back to your North Node, which is creating, being creative. We've talked about that in the past for you. Okay. And for yours, it's in your 10th house. So it's professional, being creative on a professional level. And that doesn't say that what you're doing, whatever that is, you know, like, is there a degree of creativity at your job? Okay, that's not cooperating with me, but there you go. You get my drift. And now let's take the other square, right? You have two of them again. You have Sirius that goes right here and your descendant, right? And so what's this? These two, the left, I'm sorry, my words, I'm having moments of mentalness here, right? Because you were to go to the center and then go left. And this says to let your South Node energy express. Yeah, I kind of wanted that to curve. Thank you. So it comes down to balance. For people who have things angling, especially if you have a great cross, which you do, right? That creates this, just so you guys understand it. It just creates like a big square in your chart. I know the great cross sounds so horrible, but it doesn't have to be. I'm actually living with a guy who's got like 3 or 4. He's got a lot of great crosses. He's got like 4 great crosses in his chart. So how it expresses it can be awkward because there's like an extreme amount of energy over here, an extreme amount of energy here, an extreme here, and then an extreme here. So what happens is it almost can feel kind of jarring, because there's so much over here, power here, and so much power here. And it's like, okay, can we just get a calibration where it's balanced? And can we go to the middle of each of those energies? So think about that. The middle of each of those energies would be, he's got his moon there. Look at that. Yeah, because half of 24 would be 12. So he's got his moon there, and he's got his third house cusp line. So you have that actually helps you, Anthony, for that balance. So some of the stuff I'm saying, you might be like, it doesn't apply to me or whatever. Well, that helped you right there. And that means that you have the same over here. 13 is over here too. And you also have Sirius here at 13, 14. So that helps that. Half of 25, again, we're going here. So this is at 11 degrees. So this is where it's a little bit more challenging for Anthony then. His 11th house cusp line would be friends, groups, and group energy, significant one-on-one relationships within those groups. And then the halfway mark down here. Same thing. This is 11. So it doesn't really, so that's going to be, is that I know I'm having a hard time seeing this. Is that, yeah, it's going to be in Aries because, yeah, it'll be the Libran, the half of that Libran energy. So something with self and daily routines, because it's, well, I'm saying 11th house cusp line. So yeah, 5th house and 11th house cusp lines. So that would actually then be, oh, I see why I'm having a hard time seeing that. You have, okay, because you have so much freaking, okay. You have so much Taurus over there that the Aries got butted out over here. All right. So It's the 5th house and the 11th house. So the 5th house is children, fun, joy, creativity, romance. 5th house. Okay. And the 11th house, groups, friends, social causes, significant relationships. All right. Those are the things, your 11th house and your 5th house, those are the things that will create balance to the great cross. Those are the only two things you have to focus on. Even though you see all these marks on this page, at the end of the day, those are the two areas that will establish more balance in your chart. And therefore, your north and your south node, just like with Renee, you have plenty of things around them that show you don't need help in expressing the north and the south node. Honestly, I think we have to look at the whole chart. What do you think? I'm sorry, this looks like a damn mess. This looks like a hot mess. I hope you let me move that one thing out of the way. I didn't realize it was I don't somehow I pressed something wrong and it puts this big old damn circle that blocks everything. I'm like, what the hell? Yeah, that's Uranus being stubborn and out of the ordinary. And yeah. Yeah, balance is always what we're striving for. Always. That's how at least that's what I've found. I was just having this conversation with somebody. Who the hell was it? I can't remember. Sometimes in the chat, you can get into like some deep conversations in the comments under some of these videos. And yeah, at the end of the day, that's what it came down to again for another person. It always seems to come down to that. It comes down to trying to create a balance. Yeah. It was somebody who was talking about some of the really extreme stuff in their chart. And she was just explaining that there's just always an intense thing, one after another after another. And she was like, and I'm done with this lifetime. This isn't another lifetime I would want to ever have to live through again. It's so difficult. And she's like, and I can't wait for the day when I can, ask my soul, why in the hell? What was the purpose of that chart? Like, why? Why? And one of the things that I remember sharing was something that I had been taught a while back, which was when we come into a lifetime, the soul, your soul, is really here to experience. That's it. And so if you imagine, this is all really dependent upon if you believe in the process of reincarnation, that like after this lifetime, you come back, right? And so there's this whole other world of what happens when somebody dies, and do you come back immediately? Do you go somewhere else? Can you go somewhere else? And so this isn't that conversation. This is just simply whenever you do come back, if you do come back, like if you get that choice, if that's something that you do, right? Whether it's a choice by the Supreme or whatever your belief is, if you come back, you have a different life. What's the reason? Why? And the thinking, the teaching is it's just to have experiences. Because at the end of the day, we are supposed to experience 360 degrees. And in astrology, there's 12 signs. There's 30 degrees to each sign, and that's 360 degrees. So the idea is to experience every degree of every sign and every possible experience that you could possibly have. So that, can look a trillion different ways, right? And so we can have really extreme charts, things that seem really awkward and imbalanced. And all we can do is look at the chart and say, oh, how can I balance that, right? How can I offset it, right? Anyway, so for this chart, again, Anthony, your chart is very similar to Renee's. I hope what you saw me do made sense. And the thing for you to take away and walk away with is your 5th house and the meanings of the 5th house and Aries being there. So for a 5th house, creating, whether you're having children or want to have children, maybe you don't. When people have Aryan energy involved in a location, it has a tendency to be more about self as opposed to others. It has a tendency to be, has doesn't have the great ability to compromise. That's what Aries is learning. It's got to grow up, and it takes a long time for Aries to grow up. We all have Aries somewhere in our chart, so this isn't about Anthony in his fifth house. We all have this, which is why I try stressing that for people to recognize and to remember. Even if you don't have planets in a house, you still have that energy there. It's still there. So it's learning to compromise in terms of children, joy, fun, romance, creativity, and risk taking. It's a compromise. It's a compromise. It's a compromise. So the best thing the Aryan energy can do in learning to compromise is involving others in some way. And then somehow taking the lead, but doing it in a really good way. So it would be physical sports with Aries in the fifth for sure. So in other words, being the team captain, but being the team captain that's actually someone that people can aspire to be like, right? Someone who's really a team player, someone who doesn't, what's the saying? They don't punch down, they punch up, right? They will help the other players on the team by helping them to just become better at what they do, by encouraging them, by being a leader, And so that's where Aries really, really, really shines, where it can be the leader by helping others to be better than what they thought they could be, or to just grow in ways that they didn't think was possible for themselves. And then your 11th house, group energy and friends. Okay, and significant one-on-one relationships. And these could possibly be business things too, because it's Libran energy. All right, so in all honesty, those are the only two things to work on, because there's so much to work on. It's overwhelming. And yeah, I would say that's a simplistic way of looking at it. And then, come back in 5 years and we'll look at it again. No, I'm joking. I am joking. I had to throw a little bit of smart ass stuff in there, because it's life, man. It takes forever sometimes, Alyssa, hello. How are you, Alyssa? I see you in here. Renee says, I feel awkward. Oh God, where is all this? This is funny. Let me get back up. So yeah, let me say hello real quick to, New Zealand. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I didn't even bother. I just went through it. Cassie said I just had leftovers. Who was asking that question? Well, good for you. Oh, it was probably answering me. I probably asked that question. You are so welcome. Thank you for bringing this, and thank you so much for coming on and explaining it. Because when people type things, sometimes, first of all, that's a pain in the ass, and then second of all, when I read it, I am so bad, I think, at reading what people are reading, what they're writing, and understanding what they're trying to get across to me. I get it all mixed up. So it helped a lot. Thank you. Yeah, and look at, well, Cassie, do you want me to pull your chart up next? Cassie's also a North Node Leo. Wow, can we get any more North Node Leos in here tonight, folks? Holy crap. This is the Leo show, apparently. Anthony twins. Okay, I'll mind my own business. That's for Anthony. Lou S says my North Node is in Pisces. Yeah, Lou, but this would probably be good to look at too at work, but it's not considered a creative job. Oh, snap. Well, then there's other things you can do. Because it's Capricorn, and I'm saying Capricorn because it's in the 10th house. That is stuff that takes a long time to come to fruition. The Capricorn, Saturn asks from us of our greatest, most precious commodity. There is nothing more precious that you could possibly give than your time. And that is what Saturn asks for, your time. So, don't worry about it. When the time comes, the time will come. Don't beat yourself up. But also, we have to be cognizant and be aware of the journey. Lou, I haven't met a person where balance is not the journey. I haven't met a chart yet. Oh, there it is. Renee said, I'm awkward all day long. So balance. Yeah. Balance. Yeah. That is the key, I think. Absolutely. Alyssa, there she is. I knew I saw her name. Hello. How was your holiday? Hopefully you had a holiday. Hope you didn't work too hard. Yeah, I really hope you didn't work too hard. All right, let's get that off the screen real quick so we can. I know it looks really confusing, but it wasn't confusing when I did it, was it? I hope it wasn't. So Anthony says, I totally agree with that 11th and then a 5th. Okay, good. So then you get it, right? Like, and see your house cusp lines, if they just would have done what your 3rd and your 9th did, I should say, it would be so much easier. But there's nothing there. There's no planets at the halfway point for you that would create a balance. There's no planets and there's no house cusp lines. So you don't have any help in that area. That is something where you would have to like literally be like, okay, this is one of those opportunities that I have. So here's a good way to recognize it. The transiting planets will provide the balance. So when those moments happen, you have your own chart. When you can get a planet transit that's in Libra energy and Aries energy at 15 degrees. Is that right? 12, 13, 14, right? No, more 12, right? Because we're half of, between 12 and 13. Yeah. That's when you're going to have that experience. And so if you're following the transits and you see, oh, there's something in Libra here, and it could even be the moon, definitely the moon, pay attention. Like if you aren't tracking the moon, if you aren't journaling the moon daily, and that just means you're writing down where the moon is that day and a few keywords with the sign that it's in, because that'll be the fastest mover. It'll be the easiest thing to track in in a short amount of time. And then eventually you can do it with other things, but see when that moon is there, and then there will be something, an emotion, and a conversation, a communication of some sort with friends, or something that has to do with that 5th house stuff, the 11th and the 5th. And then you will know this is that moment. These are the opportunities. So this is, that's definitely using evolutionary astrology. And it's using the astrology in a way that says, hey, I know there's more than just this lifetime. And I am being, a creator at this moment. I am being, what's the word? Somebody would say a mindful creator, right? Okay, so I confused him. No, wait, sorry, 12th, 6th. No, it's 11th and 5th. It's the 11th and the 5th. I know I had a hard time seeing that. 11th and 5th, you were right. When I started looking at the your 6th house, it became confusing because you have so many planets in Taurus. And what it does is it pushes your Aries so that it looks like that it was all still in your 5th, but it's your 5th house cusp line. Your 5th house cusp line is 11 degrees. And your 11th house cusp line is 11 degrees. So you have something that's at 11, right? Which helps. Wait a minute. Now I'm confused. Because 11 would make it that point then. 11 would stop screen. No, I want to share screen. I know it's still here. Add to the stream. Yeah, let me go back now. Now I'm confused. So 11 degrees. Okay, so you do have, I'm sorry. I guess I was thinking more about 13 degrees because your node is 25, 28. So it's like almost at 26. So I guess technically 13, but technically 11 is just a few degrees away from being half, right? Right. It's 2 degrees away from 13. But you just don't have this right here. You got a house cusp line and a moon. So if you're saying that the 5th and the 11th, those are areas where I'm saying those are areas that I think that would create a balance. I know there's so many lines. Like, this is so confusing now. Can anybody clear this shit up for me? Oh, life is a dance on the playground of life, right? Reincarnation is a beautiful theory to taste all the experiences. Absolutely. And again, some folks may have a hard time swallowing it. Some folks, it's disturbing with them. It may go against their religious beliefs. And the only thing I can say to that is, who do you think created all the planets? And because I know there's a lot of people who kind of look at astrology and they're just like, oh no, this and that and the other. And it's like, well, I just see it as divine language. The symbols are divine language. It doesn't matter what language what language you speak or what, right? It's a universal symbol. And I just think like it's amazing. It is amazing. So let me see in the chat here. So Cassie, do you want me to look at yours? Where are you? Are you here? You were here. Oh, Cassie says, yeah. Okay. So Cassie, let's pull yours up. Anthony, did yours make sense? It's still the 5th and the 11th. You don't have the support you have in your 5th and your 11th like you do in the other houses. So yes, your 5th and your 11th. I'm sticking to smart. Here I am. All right. Let me get on the ball here. Let me go find another chart. And we're going to do Cassie's, and let's see what we can do. See, Renee, look what you created. This is awesome. Everybody wants in on it. They're like, yeah, do mine. All right, Cassie, where are you at? There she is. Got you. 1980. Yeah, 1981. There we go. Okay. Right. All right, let me do this so that we can save it. Or so we can mark it up. Yeah. Cassie, desktop, yay. Okay. All right, let's get rid of that one. Where are you at, Cassie? There you are. So just so you guys know, who the charts that I've done so far like this, I still have them. I didn't dump them. I don't know if you want to see these. Like if you want me to email you these copies of this, I can do that. You just have to make sure that you email me and say, hey, gee, that chart you marked up tonight for me, can you please send it to me? And I can do that. All right. But I would, if you could do it like immediately after the live, because there's so much shit. I like to throw stuff away if I don't need it. There's just too much stuff taking up space. Does that make sense? Let me share this to you. Yeah. There we go. Bam. All right, let's get rid of that so we can see the board. Let's do that. And then let me go find that chart. All right, Cassie. So let's find Cassie's north and south node. Cassie, is this right? Your north node is at 141. In Leo, another Leo north node. Holy crap, calling all Leos. And her south node in Aquarius. Conjunct her moon. Yeah. My brain was really frazzled on that one anyway. So, Cassie, I'm not sure. I think you said something about you're still trying to figure those out. Well, what it means is when you have the moon conjunct your south node is your superpower, right? And when the moon is next to it, even though it is difficult because it's an out of sign, it doesn't match it. It's not within the same sign. But the moon is still making this where doing your superpower is really emotionally satisfying for you. You follow? So like what we're doing tonight, possibly, the astrology and all that stuff, that could kind of feed into it. Learning about yourself, using astrology to learn about yourself, first house. And then if it's a balance that we're trying to achieve, that might be difficult because there can be an over-identification with the South Node. And we're supposed to be trying to work on the soul's goal of the North Node, what's in our future, right? And I'm not saying you're not doing that, right? I'm just trying to break this down into, apples and oranges type of thing. Your North Node doesn't have anything next to it supporting it. So your North Node, although it is in your 7th house, interesting, you and Renee, North Node's in your 7th house, right? Or was that, or no, it was her South Node was in her 7th. Oh, it's the exact opposite. My bad. Interesting. All right, so let's get to the thingamajigger. So we'll draw that line. Mine's a little off, but let me do that and cheat. Yeah. All right, so there's that. And then we're going to look for the thing that breaks, that gives them the, so it's a fixed sign. We need a fixed sign in Taurus at 1 degree, 1, 2. Cassie has nothing. She's got nothing over here in the Taurus. Oh, snap. Didn't mean to do that. So yeah, here's her Taurus energy. There's nothing at 1. There's nothing within orb to square that on this side. All right, so let's throw that away. Does she have anything in Scorpio that squares that? Yes. Cassie's like, son of a bitch, I knew it. Hold on. Cassie has her Juno. Her Juno is an out of sign square to her North Node and her South Node. All right, so the lesson is to go to the thing that does the square, which is Juno. Start from that base, go up to the center, and go to the left. And that points to her North Node. Well, that makes sense. But you do see that uncomfortable T-square that you have. And so that's her North and her South. Okay, that little thing. Yeah. That's her North and her South Node. And the Juno thing of significant one-on-one relationships. And this is in your 9th house, so it comes down to your beliefs. Yeah, it comes down to the beliefs. Okay. And so according to Renee, you're supposed to focus on the North Node. You're supposed to, because it's your Juno that is preventing your North Node, that is preventing you from achieving your North Node. Did I do that right, Renee? Does that make sense as to what they were talking about? This is so weird. On my phone, Renee is on my screen. Is anybody else having the same unbelievable lag like this? What the hell? Are you serious? Renee was on the screen like an hour ago. What the hell? This is so weird. But at least we're not having any huge problems tonight. Because I messaged StreamYard and I'm like, oh, listen, I pay for this piss. Can we please solve these damn problems? So Cassie, where you at? Are you anywhere in the chat here? Cassie's like, do I have to talk about this shit? No, you don't have to talk about it. You can say, I got it, G. Thank you. Let me see. I mean, I'm using my phone so I can read the chat and it's behind. Maybe I'm wrong, but Renee is on the screen of my phone, which means it's behind in the chat. Like Alyssa's not even here. Oh no, here she is. Alyssa is here. This is so weird. Renee's on the screen, but yet the chat is up to speed. How bizarre. Does anybody else have that going on? Okay, so Cassie says, great, thanks. Great insights. Okay, so are you done? No other questions with your chart then? In terms with this? Like, you understood it all? I'm pretty sure you did, because yours, compared to the other 2 charts, yours seemed a little bit more simpler. When we look for something that, here's the thing, Cassie, normally when we have a T-square. Normally when anybody has a T-square in their chart, I'm going to tell you what the teaching is. I know their evolutionary astrology says when you're dealing with the north nodes to obviously go to the north node. Okay, we see that Cassie has a lot of energy that says, oh, but I want to do the north node or I want to do the south node. It's my superpower and it gives me emotional satisfaction, right? So the other thing on the T-square is to go the opposite of Juno. So the opposite of Juno would be 29 degrees in Aries, right? That's the teaching. How you break the T-square up, how you add balance, I should say, to a T-square is to just go to the opposite of the thing that creates the T-square, which is that Juno up there. Right. So that's 29 degrees of Aries. Now, because Cassie doesn't have anything there, well, then again, like I was suggesting, transits, paying attention to the transits, even if it's just the moon. And maybe the moon is not a good suggestion for you, Cassie. So pick Mercury, maybe. You know what I'm saying? I understand the issues about the moon. You got a moon that's like at 30 degrees of Capricorn. Cassie, you know what? In one of my books, they have a 30 degrees of Capricorn. And I don't think I've ever shared it with you. I don't think I've ever read it. So on another live or sometime, if you want me to read it, let me know. Let me know ahead of time and I'll have it ready. I don't have the book with me. It's not in here. Maybe it'll help. I don't know, with that moon thing that you said you're still trying to figure out. But yeah, when something gets here at 28, 29, yeah, even 1 degree of Taurus, even 1 degree of Taurus, even 2 degrees of Taurus. Yeah, maybe even 3 degrees of Taurus, right? Which would be actually, it's interesting because I have 2 things. No, I have 3 things in those 3 degrees. I have something at 1, something at 2, and something at 3 degrees of Taurus. So there's probably something that I do or say that kind of agitates and possibly causes you stress and tension that way and that way. Yeah. Holy crap. So I provide it for you then, that says. Oh, man. Interesting, huh? It's funny because Cassie says, let me go find this. Is it here? It's funny because Juno is my closest astrocartography line. Maybe it all ties in. It's funny because Juno is my closest astrocartography line. And are you saying Juno is your astrocartography line being in the closest for where you where you're located right now, Cassie? Is that what you're saying? Like where you're living? Because that's, I mean, I could be wrong. I might have misunderstood that. Wouldn't be the first time that I misunderstood. That's for damn sure. It could totally be that. Is that what you mean when you say that? Juno is my closest astrocartography line. Maybe it all ties in. Yeah, geography is definitely a thing. You know, like that could actually be something that provides that balance. But the Juno in this chart, that's what I'm trying to understand. Yes, where I am right now living, that is to the closest line. Okay. Well, you know what that would mean? That would mean moving away from there, moving opposite of there would create the balance. So where you're at is reinforcing that T-square is what that's telling us. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I believe what that says. Your location reinforces that T-square. I know that's probably the last thing in the world you want to hear, right? I know Yeah, that's probably the last thing in the world that you want to hear. I see chia seeds in the chat. We have chia seeds. And they eat them? I'm being nosy. I'm reading your chat. They eat them? Cassie says, I've always thought I would have better friendships and relationships if I've moved. So let me Well, Cassie, you would be right. Because of where you're living. If you're saying that where you're living is closest to this Juno line, and we see that Juno, yeah. Cassie, I know you don't want to hear that. I know you love the house that you have. I know you worked really hard to get it. Again, no decisions tonight. This is just information. So yeah, I don't know, whatever. Things may change, things happen, whatever. There's nothing wrong with moving the house. I'm just saying, I know you love that house. People move their homes. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. I don't know if that's something you would consider or what, and I'm sure there's other options and ideas and ways to go about this, but wow. Wow. All right. So Lou, I think I saw that you were you said you wanted to go after Cassie. Am I right, guys? Do I have the order correctly here? I just know I saw that Lou wanted to do it before I saw that Cassie said, let's do it. Who else? Let me see here. Split, Lou, Cassie. And I'm sure Lou is still here. Lou's still here. Who else? Are you willing to do one more? Yeah. D, I'm willing to do. Yeah, we could probably get 2 in, actually. All right, Lou's here. Let me do that. Let's see if we can do that. And if we can't, we'll start up again next week. So let's see. We will try. Where the hell did my Astro go? Oh, that's not it. Why do I always have to type this damn thing in? Come on now. ASTRGOLD. Come on now, show up. There it is. So we're doing Lou. Let me find. Oh, it's under the S's, right? Lou S. Yeah, there it is. Oh, man. Okay, let me do this. Save. All right, we got to do that. There we go. Okay. Now, there you go. All right, it's coming. Hey, did anybody see that movie Spirit or Spirited or some shit? Will Ferrell, I think is his name, and some other dude. Did anybody see it? Or does anybody want to see it? And did anybody see Wakanda Forever? I know my housemates, their Christmas tradition is that they see a movie on Christmas. And so they were talking about what to go see. And they haven't done it. This will be the 3rd Christmas. Yeah. Anyway, where's the chart? Invite. Present. There we go. Let's get that on the screen. Shazam. All right. Can you see it? All right, Lou is here. Okay, we're good. So let me go find that chart now. And I got you all here. All right, so here we go. We're looking for the North Node. Bam. In Pisces, in the 8th house. And the South Node. Right there. In Virgo. Right. 2nd house cusp line. Yeah, this person has a lot of stuff. Yeah, this person's got Black Moon Lilith at 145. Estrella right there. And their node. Wow, there's a lot of stuff supporting your South Node. Wow. Not to mention you have your 2nd house cusp line, which is at 2931. So you've got a lot supporting your South Node. Do you have anything supporting your North Node? Pallas Athena is supporting your North Node. All right, so now let me draw the line of the North and the South nodes. Bam. And now we're going to look for what is going to square those North and South nodes because we're looking at mutable signs. Oh, it's different. We're looking at mutable. We're going to look for mutable that's going to square it. So mutable is, yep, Sagittarius and Gemini, right? But we need it at the low degree. And what do we see? The culprit, the 3rd house cusp line. If will let me draw a damn... There's something strange with this trackpad tonight. I don't know. Normally it's like on point. Well, actually, in all honesty, I've never drawn this many damn lines before, so I shouldn't say that. All right, so 312, right? Yeah. Square. Square. So what does that mean? The opposite of the 312, because we know that with whatever our degrees of a cusp line of a house, it's never by itself. It has a partner. So we go across her chart and we see 312 is here and the other mutable sign, Gemini. So that squares that. And that squares that. Another great cross or a great square, whatever you want to call it. Great cross, great square. And so, yeah, Lou. Okay. Just like Anthony and Renee, right? And you have something that does support, in addition to your North Node, your 8th house cusp line is 2931. So technically, we would go up a degree, right? And your second house, your South Node has a lot supporting it. It way outweighs. See how the arrows over here? Your South Node, even though this also, like, yeah, you've got these 2 other things supporting your North Node. Over here, you have the 2nd house cusp line. You've got Estrella. You've got Black Moon Lilith. Yeah, you've got multiple things, or I should say maybe just 1, 2 extra things compared to on the other side, right? Am I reading that right? You have Estrella or 1 extra thing. It just seems like it's so much more. Maybe it's because the sun is at 8 degrees, but that's not part of it. Although technically it could be because, some astrologers don't look just at 2 degrees. They go up to a 7-degree orb. Yeah. So that actually might be part of this too for you, Lou. And I think that would be actually accurate because this little fellow here, Humea, is at 9 degrees, which means when Humea and your sun are together, which they are, 1 candle power, 2 candle power. So the light gets brighter. That would definitely extend to your South Node. Wow. Well, then that explains how your South Node is not only your superpower. It's almost like a co-ruler of your chart. I know you have a lot of rulers in a way because you've got your high degree Scorpio energy. Your Neptune's at 2815. That 2nd house cusp line of Leo, though, man. Yeah, it's so high, it's almost considered, it's a 30-degree cusp line, technically. And again, that book, those Sabian symbols, they have they all their symbols in that book, they give a definition for the 30-degree mark, which I thought was pretty fascinating. They don't do 0 degrees in that book. They do 30 degrees. So in other words, when we say 0 degrees in that book, that equates to 30 degrees of the previous sign. Right. Interesting, right? And I'm not saying it's gospel or that it's truth. I'm experimenting with it myself, but so far it seems pretty damn accurate from what I've used it on clients too, who are just like, oh yeah. Because I throw it out there and I want their feedback. And so they give me reports. Say, I want to know. Send me some feedback. All right. So for Lou, I'm sorry. I was supposed to be rushing and I'm babbling. So for Lou, yeah, we're supposed to take this line, right? That creates that T-square for for your 5th house cusp line in Sagittarius, right? So use all your Sagittarius keywords on your 5th house. So children, fun, joy, creativity, romance, taking a risk. 5th house cusp line, taking a risk with my body, and how I want to have fun. So it could be travel, but it's higher learning and, all the good stuff for Sagittarius keywords. So we go here, we go to the left. Yeah, she said, oops, come on, move that thing over. Let me go up and we go, it won't draw a line now. What? There we go. We go to the left and it goes to her south node. Oh my gosh. Right? Well, we go the same thing with this house cusp line. But with this one, let's extend that. With this one, starting from that house cusp line, am I doing that right? See, like I'm starting there. Like, I mean, if I were to go like that, would you say that that's left? Am I looking at that wrong? I was starting it from here as though I'm facing upward and facing that way. Because like, depending upon, am I overthinking this now? I don't know why why before I never asked this question. Because some might say, well, isn't this left? Because technically that would be left. Renee, where are you? Are you still here? Did I just completely get it all wrong? She said you start at the point of the thing that's creating the cross and you go to the center. And then once you hit the center, you go left. And I guess that's where I was confused in the beginning because I was thinking, if I'm starting at Gemini and being over, maybe it's just supposed to be like, anyway, now I probably just messed everything up. What do y'all think? So I was doing it correct the first time and now I'm overthinking it. Please tell me yes. Say you're overthinking it, G. Okay, so then it goes to her north node, right? So that 11th house cusp line, that's the 11th house cusp line that supports your north node. And your 5th house cusp is what then, if you go towards it, it's more support to your south node. So incorporating both, but your north node definitely doesn't have the amount of support that your south node has. Your south node has an overwhelming amount of support, which you already know. You have super active Mercury. You have so much in Virgo energy in general that, it's unbelievable. I mean, that's all Virgo. Holy shit. That's amazing. A Mercury, a Pluto, White Moon Lilith, Vulcan, frickin' Moon, Hygeia, the Sun, the South Node, Estrella, Black Moon Lilith. I've never seen a chart where the White Moon Lilith and the Black Moon Lilith are in the same sign. Holy crap. So I feel really comfortable saying that your North Node does not have enough support. Your North Node in Pisces is like all by itself, basically. Yeah. Plus, it's in the 8th house, so that makes it difficult because it's buried and hidden. Whew. Wow, man. Wow. Well, then I gave a good example of how the overthinking was happening. You saw my overthinking happening, right? How I just made it more confusing than it needed to be. That was an excellent example of that. That's so funny because I was doing in a Virgo's chart that has an unbelievable amount of Virgo. And I got sucked in. I got sucked into it. Oh, snap. So how to get balance? Girl, you got to go all throttle, full throttle on the Pisces energy. Yeah, this Pisces energy needs more attention and time. So more fantasy, more sci-fi, write something, write some music, more movies, more creativity, absolutely. But it's got to be creativity. And I shouldn't say it has to be. I hate telling somebody how they should be creative. That goes against creativity in general. But Pisces is sound. Pisces is soft, it's warm, it's gentle. Pisces is visuals. It's visuals. Think of movies, the moving picture, right? It's acting. It's acting. So it's make believe. It's like think of Pisces, it is substances, of course, and drugs and shit like that. And I'm not suggesting that. I'm suggesting healthy outlets that are going to really fire up some of that creativity and spirituality, unity, oneness, sacrifice, like these are all other Piscean things. But the latter was a little bit more serious and less fun. So to create the balance, technically you have balance because it's a great cross, but not really, right? Like if somebody said this chart's balanced, they're whacked, right? Look at all this, right? Absolutely. So Virgo it's Virgo and Libra, you have a lot, 4 things in Libra down there, right? But Virgo and this side of the chart, houses 1, 2, and 3 are all consuming this chart, right? They're huge. So you would go to the opposite. So the opposite would be 7, 8, and 9, right? 7, 8, and 9. All those keywords for the 7th, the 8th, and the 9th. So the 7th house, significant relationships, compromise, possibly business partnerships, marriage, right? 8th house, kind of like what we're doing tonight, astrology or things that are occult, the hidden, maybe mediumship. You've got Pisces in the 8th house, right? Spiritual work, but this can be healing, of course. And then possibly, exploring, maybe even for you, exploring what this past life had to do with. This is a north node though, but there's some sort of a wound there from some of that. So like diving into the 8th house stuff, right? And so some would say when you dive into the 8th house, you're, maybe seeing a therapist, right? Or psychotherapy, but I don't think it has to be all that serious, but just allowing time for exploration and then using the Pisces stuff, Pisces keywords to just dive into that in a way where it's more gentle, where it's not as intense. Creativity, letting hurts and pains and wounds come out. I have somebody who does art, and their artwork is really intense to look at. You can see the pain right on the paper, and that kind of artwork is quite moving actually, because you can literally see that pain on the canvas, and it's like, wow, And again, it doesn't have to be like somebody who's selling something, but just do it, And then the 9th house, self-discovery, and it's Aries. So, well, that's, Aries energy takes a lifetime to learn Aries. So like on the other charts, how do we create balance within the square? It would be at the halfway points of each of those square points. And let's see if you got them. I'm thinking you definitely got something over here in the 3rd house. for that balance between children, fun, joy, and romance. That's 3 degrees of Sag. And so if I want to go halfway on that one's not as simple. We're dealing with multiple signs. We're dealing with Scorpio, we're dealing with Libra, we're dealing with Virgo. I definitely think that you have Vesta here in Libra. Oh, wow, that was wild. I didn't realize I could do that. So you have Vesta here in Libra. Significant relationships. Okay. And we talked about Vesta in somebody else's chart tonight. And it's about your flame, but because it's in Libra, it's about compromise, which is interesting because we talked about the 7th house energy, right? So that creates a balance, compromise and balance, but it can be business partnerships too, right? It doesn't have to be, the marriage thing, but it can be. It can be both. Somehow I got a funky arrow over here. That's fine by me. I like that, actually. I don't know. This stuff has a mind of its own. So the halfway point for this one, again, that's 3 degrees that way and 2 degrees that way. So we're going to find the halfway point here. We're looking at Capricorn energy. And you don't have anything there, but it's in your 6th house, right? You do have a cusp line over here at 842. That might help a little bit, right? Your profession, your daily routines, your duties, your responsibilities, organizing. Yep. That might help. It's Capricorn energy, right? Let me see. Okay, so we've got, what did I say? 3-4 degrees. You do have Chiron up here. 9th house stuff. See, you have planets in these places. And if there's planets in these places, I don't think it's anything that you have to work on. What's interesting is the work is usually, and it's funny because, astrology websites tell you if you don't have any planets there, this is what they tell you. If you have a house and there's no planets in it, that means there's no work to do there. You don't have to worry about anything. Well, in your case and in the other charts, we were kind of hoping that having a planet or a cusp line would create a balance with these great crosses, right? So yours is professional and yours is organizing. Yours is creating structures, okay, in your daily routines. On the other side of that, it's home and family. It's Cancer. It's mom energy. And I marked this up so much, I can't even see what I did, but you have something. Yeah, you have something like at 5 degrees here. And you have a house cusp line at 842. So you know what? It comes down to this then. And of course, it just drew a big thing. So it kind of comes down to this, Lou. The structure and the organizing. And I would say that's probably interesting because it's a South Node superpower. Like you have so much over here in Earth. Your sun trines that house cusp line. So in other words, I think you're already doing it. I think you already do it. Your sun and your Hygeia, like you have these multiple things that trine that house cusp line. But the area of work, definitely 7th, 8th, 9th house, and Pisces stuff. Make sense, Lou? Okay. Become a nun. Who said that? Oh my God, that's so funny. Who the hell said that? Renee says, I find this fascinating as we can all now go look for the life events that caused trauma and address how it stunted our growth. Yes. And this is a tool to get past those events. Yes, this is great. Everybody wanted in on it too, which is great. And I didn't get to everybody. It's almost time. My time is almost up. It was D, right? D. Dee said, "You're doing it correctly." Well, thank you. So Dee knows how to do this. Oh, yeah, my freaking batteries are going to drop too. Oh, my Lord, I'm losing everything. Good. Okay. I don't know. I think yes, it is very fascinating. Lou, did it make sense? Did what I say make sense? She said, "I'm not creative at all." Well, there's something I've learned about not being creative at all. Everybody has a creative bone in them. It's a matter of finding the right medium, finding what is your thing. It's just a matter of experimenting. Not everybody can grab a paintbrush and some paints and canvas and just be like, oh, that's not for everybody. It totally isn't. It doesn't have to be like that. There's like 1,000 different ways to be creative. And, what about knitting and crocheting or needlepoint? Might be something like that for you, Lou. And I only say that because that's like a Virgo thing. It's considered crafting, and that is a Virgo superpower. So yeah, I shouldn't have said that. Damn. It's kind of got to go on the other side. It's got to be more abstract, because that's Pisces. It's more abstract stuff. So, Pisces is going overseas. It's the ocean. It's working with water in some way. We could even just talk about the element. Start with the element, right? You have a tub at home? I mean, we could just go real basic and just be like, okay, we're going to start taking more baths. Like, just start there. That might seem crazy, right? You're not creative at all. Well, then this is a calling. It's your North Node. It's like saying, well, then you're just going to pick something. And doesn't mean it's something you have to stay with. I know that when I first started working with different ways of being creative, it was really rather foreign to me. I mean, it might seem strange, but yeah, it was really very strange. Like, I went to my first art class, which I would recommend, Lou. That's how you do it. You go to whatever the local college is, take like Art 101. They might even have somebody doing non-credit courses. I would totally recommend that, because when you take those classes, they introduce you to different mediums. And in those classes, you find out that certain people excel at one medium and other people excel at a completely different medium that the other person excelled at. There's no, there's no, this is the only way. So that was the beauty of being in a first year art class in a university, was you get to just experiment. Just go to the local, like a community college, right? There's a community college. Go take up a class, 3 hours a week. They'll give you a little bit of homework or something. And that is the best way to do it, I think, because it dips your feet into the water and you just experiment. And I know that might seem unrealistic, but then something that's similar to that is my best recommendation that I can think of. All I know is a lot of the people, because I've recommended a lot of people, because my astrology partner is an art teacher. That's how I met my astrology partner. She was my freaking art teacher. That's how I met her. Yes, because I had been writing and I had been journaling and I was ready to write a book. And the more I thought about it, I was like, I need to do something for youngsters. Oh my God, see the 3-hour mark? I was like, I need to do something for young kids. Let me take this off so I can steal some of the light. Hold on, because I don't have any other light. There we go. I stole that light. Anyway, so I decided, if I'm going to do something for kids, I'll need illustrations. And then I was like, I'm not paying anybody to do illustrations. What the hell? I decided I had to learn how to draw. So I took an art class, and then there was some other crazy stuff that was happening with drawing too, with my mom and her book. And anyway, it's like a whole journey. But that's what I did. And I discovered a whole slew of shit that I never knew. Like, it was amazing. It was an amazing experience. And now I absolutely love art, but it opens that Pisces energy up. And it's also Leo energy, by the way, I have to tell you, Lou. So when you tell me you're not creative, I just think there are things about your creativity you have yet to discover. Okay. I think that's probably more accurate because you have, if I'm not mistaken, you have also have Mars and Leo, just like Renee here tonight. So you guys are crazy creative. It's to get you to understand that there are more ways to be creative other than having babies. That's the whole point. And that's how we lift the energy up in the body. Right now, it's, being used that way to have babies. It's what is that? The first chakra, right? And so we want to get it to raise up, where we're using the chakras that are elevated here. And then all that opens up. And so that's, if you don't think you're into it, just experiment. No one's telling you to go into there and become Van Gogh, right? No, we're not saying that. This is how you get all that to open up. Okay, so D, we owe you for next week. We start with you first. So yeah. Is everybody all good? It is time to end the live. This was a great live. And Renee, thank you. Keep learning and bringing it back to us. I love that because you do work for me that I don't have time to do. And I'm not saying like this is your job. Obviously, I want you to have fun with it and do it when it's convenient for you. But I love learning too. And so I think it's even funner when we can all discover some new technique and do it together. I think that's awesome. Everybody seemed to enjoy it. So yeah, the next time you get some good stuff like this, bring it on, baby. Bring it on. So everybody, I want to thank you for being here at the live. Have a great night. Just remember Mars still retrograding. And as Mars retrogrades, it's going to get higher in numbers. But, December's new moon, that full moon in the beginning of December and then the new moon, we're going to have some changes. I'll have some more videos up soon. And things, there could be some really beneficial energy coming our way. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Even if it seems a little dreamy in the beginning of December, which it's going to feel a little dreamy, there's going to be more of the rubber hitting the cement kind of stuff because all those planets are going to get into Capricorn. And it's going to be like, okay, now this is what is or isn't realistic. Yeah. So I think it's going to be interesting, to say the least. So thank you, everybody. Stay safe. And just remember that together we're better. Bye-bye.
झूमता गगन है छाया आसमां देखो झूमता गगन
Oh yeah, that was fun stuff. Oh, absolutely.